welcome to another Happy Pod, the only podcast in the world. My name is Nathan, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host. His name is Lawrence Thomas Heisey. He's a fuckhead, a cunt, a lover boy, a dickhead, and a nice person. And my best friend.
You got sappy at the end there.
I'm feeling emotional. Lawrence, tell us what this show is all about before I kill you with a gun.
Nathan, before you kill me with a gun, this is the show where each week we get together to discuss something in the realm of pop culture. It could be a movie, could be a telly show, could be a video game, but here's the catch. The main thing is that we do so without any of the toxic discourse that is oh so prevalent these days.
All right.
I thought I'd add a fun little spin on it at the end there. I never normally do.
Lovely. That's lovely. Thank you for that. I'm drinking a delicious Coca-Cola Zero Sugar with vanilla.
Ooh, I should have got a Dr. Pepper Zero. There are some in my fridge, but I did not bring one upstairs.
A Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar, Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, but I'm shortening it like the cool kids do.
They don't show it.
No, they do with their Dr. Pepper
they don't.
Zeros.
They're not. If they're shortening it, they're not cool. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You got to say the full name for it to be cool.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar.
Now you're cool.
What's up, kids? I've got my Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar.
Lawrence, I feel like we've got way too much to discuss to be having witty banter.
You're not wrong.
And this banter is the wittiest it's ever been.
Yeah, it never gets better than this, than Zero Sugar riffs.
That is true.
Nathan, for the last 3 weeks, I don't know if you're aware of this, we've been speaking about Attack on Titan.
I wasn't aware of this. When did this happen?
No, you might have, I don't know, maybe you were snoozing away.
Did you erase my memories with the power of the founding titan?
I think I might have done.
No.
And today, we're here to discuss Attack on Titan, not Season 4, Attack on Titan, the final season, and then some little specials that are after the final season.
The final season and then the final chapters, because the final season wasn't enough of a season to actually finalize it, so they had to do more, and then it was a whole thing. It went for like 4 years as well. Right?
Look, I'll be honest.
I mean, like, it aired over the course of like 4 years.
Oh, okay. It felt like a span of 4 fucking years past watching
Lawrence,
this.
don't, all right? Don't. Because imagine that, but imagine a year gap in between each episode, all right?
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Not each episode, but like I'm pretty sure between the finale, the Chapter 1 special and the Chapter 2 special, at least a year between those.
You're joking. A year?
No. So...
That's absurd. I was wondering why the second special, they're like, here's the last 5 minutes. I was like, yeah, I know, I just saw this.
Yeah, they got to remind you, Lawrence. It's been a year, all right? Maybe not for you. Maybe not for you sitting pretty watching this all in a fucking weekend.
Look, it's not my fault I waited, all right? I was smart. Joe, I had no idea the show existed until a couple of years ago, if I'm honest.
Yeah, you're a little bitch.
May I make a bold proclamation before we begin talking about this season?
Yeah, sure.
This might crack my top 5 TV shows.
He just said it's better than Succession.
I didn't say that. No,
he did. It's on record.
No.
It's on record.
This is so good.
Isn't this just the greatest show of all time?
This is so good.
Did you think when I suggested this, you'd ever be in this position?
I thought, do you know what? I secretly, I was like, I know that it's well revered, but I was like, you know that thing we do where we're like, each other like something? Yeah. No.
There's no way he has good taste.
Yeah.
Despite his proven track record of consistently having good taste.
But I was like,
Despite the fact we're best friends and a lot of the basis of our friendship is enjoying the same kind of stuff, there's no way that thing he likes is good.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a podcast about pop culture with a man who I don't enjoy. No, I don't know. I knew it'd be good, but like I didn't know it'd be like, I thought I'd watch it and I'd be like, that was great, and I'd think about it for a week or so and then I'd move on. But like, this is something that is like, it's so epic and like fucking grand in scale, and it's like, I don't know, there's something about it that just feels... Maybe it's because I wasn't expecting season 4 to go necessarily the way it did, but there's something that almost,
True.
But like, I don't know, there's something almost about it that feels like this is actually like, it doesn't. No media needs to prove its existence, but like, this really stakes, like, puts its foot in the ground and goes like, look at what I have to fucking say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it really does. It's fucking sick, man. It might be just one of the best there ever was. During our first season watch through, when we was watching the first season a couple of weeks back, you text me saying Eren is my goat.
Oh, okay? I knew this would come.
And
back
I
up.
couldn't help just bursting out laughing as soon as I saw that. I even took a screenshot of it, and I'm like, he's gonna regret this. I know he is.
Look, I was dealing with this.
I couldn't say anything for all these weeks. All these weeks I've been chuckling to myself, knowing this moment was coming, all right?
I was only working with the information I had at the time, all right?
I know.
And I feel my comments on Eren throughout this month has been steadily declining.
Yeah.
Did I know he would become like the worst?
It's bold. It's incredibly bold for a show to take their main character, the protagonist of the show, and turn them into the main villain. All right? Like, it's been attempted, but has it ever really been done to this degree?
Right, this is the thing. I keep thinking, and I said about this last week, I keep coming back to Game of Thrones. When I watch this. No, because like they did this with Daenerys, right? They tried to kind of...
They tried to do this.
Yeah, no. I want to make that completely and utterly clear. Does not even come close to touching the success of this execution. But like, it is similar in that vein of like, you know, like there's a famous lineage and that's important for some fucking reason. And, you know, this person who's been revered as a paragon of good and justice, and even though they might be a bit hot-headed at times, will still make the ultimate justice call. And like, yeah, it just doesn't work to the same degree this does. But no,
not at all. No.
You're right. It's so fucking... I wasn't prepared for just how bold this got.
Yeah.
Like, the season eases you into it because you go like, oh, he's making some kind of wild choices, but like you can kind of see why a guy like that would. And then at the end of it, you're like, fucking murder this cunt already, would you? Like, Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. And then even after that, you're like, well, I don't know. You know, it's complicated. It's complicated. All right?
So the end. I'm fresh off of watching this ending, right? Like I finished the season less than an hour ago, and I'm already like I need to let the dust settle, but I already know that I need to watch. This is a show that needs to be watched back again once the full thing has been watched.
100% it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because like
I would massively agree with that.
Yeah, because there's stuff in that. Oh, I don't know. Has that been beneficial for you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, this is like the third time I've watched it, really.
But no, but like fourth. In terms of like revisiting it, what are you getting out of that?
Yeah, it definitely is beneficial. Like I said, throughout the weeks, there's so many moments, like even right back in the first season, where you can see like, oh, they clearly knew what they was doing here. Like, the story was figured out. It was planned. They knew exactly where they were going. The first episode is called "To You 2,000 Years From Now." Okay, and given the trajectory of the story and everything it goes, it just makes perfect sense with that. You know, it's all fucking planned out, and it's just, I don't know, it's just really good. It fits really well together.
It's a show that benefits from really having just just an incredibly deep and layered story that like every character has like 3 levels of fucking lore underneath them. That makes for interesting people in places and stuff. I tell you what, I might struggle going back to season 1 after this, because although you can hear my thoughts on it in the episode, I loved it. It's going to feel so quaint compared to this, isn't it now?
In some ways, yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's not the same... Well, the story evolves over time, doesn't it? It's not the same sort of genocidal fucking world-ending storyline that this is. But
yeah, I feel like I'm just gonna be like the Colossal rocks up, and I'm just like, I just fucking cut his neck, man. Like, piece of piss, isn't it?
Well, they do seem to get easier as the show goes on, or maybe they just get more skilled. I don't know, but whatever. So how was starting off season 4 for you? Because it starts off with like almost like an entirely different show.
Really does,
an entirely different setting with an entirely different cast. It's like, hey, here's none of the people you know.
I feel like 4 or 5 episodes as well.
Yeah, really.
It's quite I tell you what. At first, it was a bit jarring because at the ending of season 3 is so obviously like it's literally looking across the pond at what could be out there. and going, I bet you can't wait to find out what happens to these guys once they cross that ocean.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, amazing, I can't wait to get back into that. And then to not see them cross that ocean for a while, and then to find out, like, oh, they've been there for a bit. Like,
they've crossed the ocean,
Yeah, like, I've missed out on this. No, it's
4 years. It's been 4 years.
Right. And everyone has a glow-up, including including my previous goats, still my goat, but not my main goat, Armin's hairdo.
Armin, yeah, he's got a little bit of a fade sort of touch-up now, isn't it?
Thank God, man. He was walking around with, like, a proper Karen trim for 3 seasons.
He didn't have a Karen trim. Come on.
I know, but he had the mum bob.
He had a stylish little bob, all right? He was looking great.
Stylish and bob doesn't work in the same sentence.
He grew fucking hell, words, Nathan. He grew up and he grew into a nice little trimmed fade, which suited his more lanky body.
It definitely did, yeah. He was looking quite fresh. But no, right, to answer your question, it's a jarring shift, I think, because, I mean, firstly, there's, like, machine guns and trenches, and, like, we had this in the end of season 3, I think, the last couple of episodes, where we were like, oh, a world beyond this kind of thing. But
a more advanced world as well.
Yeah, like a world that clearly isn't limited by the same lack of progress that the main world is. But yeah, no, just like a kind of an instant switch up, like how they deal with Titans. It's almost like there's a line about how the military have the power to eclipse Titans and essentially make them null and void in warfare. And I'm like, I've been watching my guys, like, swing about for 3 seasons, just barely keeping alive, trying to outpace these guys. So it's great. It's a change of pace.
And it's true as well, because the whole first episode, it's a battle. It's the Marlians at war with some foreign nation, and they drop in the armored and the beast Titan into war. That's part of the episode, and there is a moment where both of those Titans get fucked up. They almost die. Two of their most powerful Titans that they have left, and they almost fucking kick the bucket. Not fighting our heroes or the people we've seen grow over the past 3 seasons, just some fucking random country who have big guns now. So
and like anti-Titan rounds or something, which is a little bit like, what's that? But whatever.
Well, I think it makes sense. If the Titans are like this force that people know about, then they're going to develop weaponry to combat that, aren't they?
I like the train. I like the big old train with a fucking Gatling gun on it that just massacres Titans. That's fun. Yeah. I tell you what, I do. It's so rare for, I think, a season in its final season, right, or a show in its final season to get this much of a breath of fresh air. Like, they just inject this show with, like, a new lease of life. And it wasn't missing anything before, but the characters they add to this, like, there's a whole bunch of them that I want to talk about, that they develop older characters in really interesting ways, given the context of us spending a bit more time in Mali. And
so they introduce us to the warrior candidates who are the next generation of Titans to be, really.
Yeah, it's what Bertolt Reiner and Annie were.
Yeah, exactly. The younger version of those. Falco, Gabby, and 2 others who you don't really need to worry about.
Man, yeah. yeah, the other, who cares?
They'll die quickly, don't worry about
it. Man, Gabby. What a fucking character, man. I'm enthralled by Gabby in this show. Like, she's such an entertaining character to watch. Not only
does she remind you of anyone?
I got some Historia vibes a little bit.
She's basically Eren Yeager.
Oh, you're drawing that connection for me. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, she's basically the Malian version of Eren Yeager. Yeah.
Oh, you've cracked my brain right open. That is interesting. That is it. Yeah, I literally didn't even draw that line. I'm fucking annoyed at myself not drawing that line now. I want to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, but it's really good watching it with that in mind. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Gabby is a very interesting character for the. I was watching season 4 as it aired, and let me tell you, people fucking hated Gabby.
Oh, I'm not shocked, yeah.
For one specific reason. That was killing Sasha, which was Yeah, it was brutal. And I was there. I fucking hated Gabby as well, all right? I was like, fuck Gabby, man. I hate her. I hate this character so much. And then by the end of the season, I fucking loved her. Like, I fucking love so many of these characters. During our first episode of whatever this is, Attack on Vember or whatever, you asked me who were like some of my favorite characters that I really enjoy. Another time, I couldn't really say much because of spoilers and stuff. Reiner is my goat.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Reiner is probably my favorite character in the entire show.
I'm right there with you. I think he's by far and away the most fucking interesting person in there. Like, just the mental fucking torment and anguish that he's gone through. And this season really fucking took a crowbar and opened up his like psyche a little bit more. Like that scene where he's he's having dinner with his family, who now like because of like the way that the classism works and the fucking the Nazi of it all in Mali is that like he's obviously given his family status. By becoming the Armored Titan, he's essentially elevated his family into society. They've got a different coloured armband because they're honorary Malians.
Yeah.
And they obviously fucking rely on him to uphold that good relationship. But
by the way, that doesn't spare them from any abuse, though.
Oh no,
no, they still get treated pretty much the same way everyone does. It just means that they can basically leave the internment zone. I think that's really pretty much it.
But that's more like, I wouldn't even say that's any issue or anything, or like any kind of thing that the show needs to address, because it's absolutely right. It's a fake ribbon for doing nothing. Like, it's just we appreciate you. Here's literally an armband. Not like, here's nicer food. Here's accommodation that is better for whatever reason. Like,
but the weight they put on it. And the fucking, the weight Gabby puts on it. It's like her whole fucking driving force. It's what she aspires to be, to get that for her and her family and stuff. And it's heartbreaking to watch, really. It's so fucking... you just want to be like, oh, girl, fucking snap out of it, you know? It's brainwashing and manipulation, like, right from a fucking young age and stuff. It's horrible, really.
I think that's one of the most interesting parts of the first half of this season as well, right? Like, that intense focus on that the warrior candidates and the Reiner's relationship, as like, he's a fucking idol. Like, he's revered as a fucking legend by these kids because he's gone up and he's grown up and achieved everything they want to achieve.
He's a grown man now. He's got a beard.
He's got a beard. He's got an odd little beard. It's like a little kind of stubbly line beard.
He's got a beard. They call him Mr. Brown.
They do. Oh my god. Look, something about his relationship with those kids and how he essentially wants nothing more than to protect them, but he has to protect them within the confines of the system that he's allowed to protect them within, and that means perpetuating more hate that he's tired of doing. It's so intricately woven, these characters, man. Like,
and he's so tired. Like, fucking hell, we see him put a gun in his mouth at one point as well.
Mate, I was on the verge of tears. Genuinely, like, fucking... This is why I've said, like, could crack the top 5, right? Reiner's, like... To be honest, he's the whole appeal of the show for me at this point. Because he's just that... He's so compelling to watch.
He really is.
He's a guy that's just in a bad fucking spot, and he's done terrible things that you can't really necessarily blame him for, which is crazy, considering 2 weeks ago, I was here fucking shooting my mouth off about how much of an arsehole he was.
Yeah.
Like, it's all a matter of... It's the Last of Us 2 thing, isn't it? It's the fucking perspective switch that makes you go, hang on. Unless you're a fucking idiot. Don't understand.
Yeah. There's a lot of this which is quite similar to The Last of Us Part 2. Really.
Yeah, there really is.
A lot of themes which it shares, cycle of violence and all that kind of stuff. It's
the fucking, like, bastardization of children in warfare and everything else. Yeah, that's one of the main things I like about this. Just the fact that they've got, like... They have Eldians, but they use them to essentially just fucking set dress the front lines of battle. And they're just like, they're expendable, but they see it as an honor. And like, if I die proving myself to the Malian cause, then my family will get more kind of upstanding in this world. And I'm like, guys.
Yeah, but will they?
Yeah.
No, really? Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible, dude. But yeah, I don't know what was interesting about you coming back to like the first half. We'll get to the second, but I kind of want to get through this a little bit.
seeing more of the how the Malian world operates, and life outside of the walls, and just how fucking horrible it is. They really don't pull any punches with this world. It's so brutal and so disgusting, and just there's one moment quite early on, like I think it's when Reiner and Gabby, they're like at home having dinner with their family and stuff, and they're just having like a nice evening. Obviously, it's quite traumatic for Reiner because he has to live some stuff. Gabby doesn't know really much about anything apart from the glory of Marley and bringing justice to those Eldian devils and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But as all that's going on, as they're having their nice family evening, there's just one shot of like a guy on a rooftop who then just jumps off and kills himself.
Yeah.
And then you see like fucking someone, I think it's Reiner and his mum possibly walking somewhere the next morning. And then in the background, there's just a crowd around the body as well. Just fucking brutal shit, man.
I think they do such a good job of designing this place in that it's like, it feels like, well, when it was opened up to us in the end of season 3, we felt, oh my god, here is a world that is unburdened by limits. And this is a world that has progressed some 100 years on, like, and have all these grand technological advancements and all of this stuff. But it's so much more of a fucking hellscape prison. And what's interesting is that across the ocean, fucking Paradis has been getting more and more liberated and free. And the perspective switch in how one has gone from incredibly oppressed and the other to this kind of place of well-to-do society is kind of completely switched up on itself. Like,
there's a moment even in the very first episode of the season where it shows you that it's not just limited to Malian, this way of thinking. It's not just the Malian people. It's the whole fucking world. Because again, they're at war with this nation or whatever. They're fucking they're fighting this other army, and then Falco, being the young, sweet, honorable kid that he is, he drags an injured soldier from the other side into like their trenches so he can perform first aid on him. And he starts like muttering something, and he's like, "Hey, what's this guy saying? You speak their language. Translate for me." And then he's just like, "Get your hands off me, you filthy devil! Don't stain me with your fucking filth or whatever." And here he is trying to save his life, and that's all he's saying to him. It's brutal. It's so fucking horrible.
Yeah, it speaks volumes to like the fact we spoke about this again with just the very brief kind of insight of the Holocaust imagery that we got last week, but like. It really is just steeped in this bigotry and hatred, and I think they do, sounds ridiculous to say, but I think they do a fucking incredible job at kind of letting you be an observer to that just level of passive hatred that just occurs.
There's one moment in particular which is by far and away the most haunting of it all for me, and it comes a little bit later in the season, possibly actually in the second half of the season. But it's the backstory of the Beast Titan before Zeke, the guy who like he plays catch with and stuff with his glasses. Yeah, and like how he had a family. He thought he could hide his Eldian heritage, and he had a wife, and they had a child. And once she found out, she cut her own throat. Well, she killed the child and cut her own throat. Yeah, which is just. I don't even know what to say.
There's no words for it.
No, it's just she was so disgusted and horrified that she'd married an Eldian and had gave birth to an Eldian that she killed the child, a baby. It's just, I don't know, man. It fucks you up.
It does fuck you up, and then like that guy's relationship with Zeke later on, like I don't know. There's just something about how that kind of. It echoes this kind of right. This guy's kid died at the hands of fucking like bigotry and secret keeping and all of this, and then this guy goes on to have a relationship with Zeke where he kind of just bestows knowledge upon Zeke and gives him this kind of plants this seed of an idea within him, and it grows into this horrible fucking idea later on that it's just like. Let's fucking essentially castrate the entire Eldian race. Let's end this. And it's just how that hatred grows is mind-boggling. Like, it truly... It's hard to fathom, right? Because I'd like to think we live in a more evolved world than this. But yeah, I mean, in some depends where you look, I guess. But like, it's stuff that we don't see. We're two white guys, right? We don't see this stuff, and we can't really have a reference point for experiencing this level of hatred. But like, it's something. There's something so sinister about the fucking banality of it all that just feels so effortless and taught from day one that it's never questioned. And yeah.
Fucks you up, man. Yeah,
it does. That's what I think. That's why I really like fucking Gabby as a character, right? Because she is this. She's indoctrinated into this idea, right? Yeah. Like it's a completely fucking. When she does board that ship and then manages to escape the kind of custody of the of what she would call the island devils, she just can't fathom this idea that people don't want to murder her on sight. Everywhere she goes, people are like somewhat like, "You're right, little girl," and she's like, "I'll kill you, stay back."
Yeah.
And she cannot fucking fathom why people wouldn't treat her the same way she treats them.
Yeah. It's so alien of a concept to her. It's so just it just doesn't exist, which is heartbreaking. It's so fucking heartbraking, man. That's just a world that she's never known, really. It's horrible. Just one of my just speaking about like Reiner and my love for him and Gabby as well. Just one of my favorite fucking tropes in terms of characters and character development is a character who initially was a villain, but then later you find out that they were a villain because of torture and manipulation and abuse and stuff, and they get a chance to redeem themselves. I'm always gonna love that shit. I'll eat that up every single time. Ben Solo, Zuko from fucking Avatar, Tech, not Tech, fucking,
Danny
Crosshair.
Zuko from Greece.
Shut up, you. Crosshair from the Bad Batch. It always just fucking, I love it so much. It's my favorite.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's really hard to not be kind of brought into Reiner's world. Like, you have to sympathize with him when he's kind of sat around the table from his family that you're led to believe at least only value him for what he can offer their family in terms of that elevation in society. And just that scene where he's like, obviously I can't tell you a lot of it because a lot of it's like classified by the government and all of this, but he he gets pressed for some details, and then he just kind of, I don't know, he just kind of fucking goes with it because he's just exhausted to not like they're like, "Oh, what was it like living with those fucking devils?" And he was like, "Yeah, I guess it kind of sucked." And I'm like, they were your friends, man.
But also, he just tells a silly story, though, as well.
Yeah.
He just tells them about Sasha eating a potato.
Yeah.
But makes it sound so horrifying and cruel and scary that it's almost funny, really.
Well, it's the scene that endeared everyone to Sasha as a character back in season 1, and then he sells it like, "I couldn't believe the gall on this woman to fucking defy orders in the way she did and animalistically devour the food." Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just the fact that he knows it's not true, but the beatdown of oppression and just this kind of it really lends itself to this idea that the elites and the upper echelon of fucking of Marlians have constructed this perfect narrative that the two Eldian races, or the divide between the Eldian race, if they can just keep warring with each other, then no one looks at them.
And even, skipping ahead a bit, but even right at the very end, even after everything he's done, stops the fucking rumbling. He's lost the power of the Armored Titan, and he's scared to tell his mum that.
Yeah.
He's nervous about telling her, and she's so fucking thankful, which is just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so lovely.
That entire, we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but that entire ending scene where kind of, it's almost like the fucking people put down the guns and learn to break bread with one another is truly beautiful. And I think, maybe idealistic, maybe a bit too overly optimistic in terms of that.
Well, I've just wait. Just hold fire.
Might I say one of the saddest end credits I've seen.
Might be. Did you enjoy finding out? Well, it's not really looked into that much, but obviously you find out the fate of Ymir. Amiya, not like fucking founder Amiya, but Amiya from season 2.
Oh, yeah, like for
Yeah.
what little kind of it's mentioned, it's just sad.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. She just basically let herself get killed in Ian. So
yeah.
So Porco could not Galliard could take up the fucking the Jaw Titan.
Yeah, and just makes that kind of letter retrospectively just fucking 10 times sadder.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, not great. Yeah, a miserable season.
Jaw Titan's pretty cool. It's always moving about. It's got a little. When Galliard is a Jaw Titan, it's got a little mask or some shit where it just chomps down on you.
Yeah,
I
like that. I like the reveal later on. Is it Peak, the character?
Peak, yeah, the Card Titan.
Yeah, I kept laughing because they were like, obviously it means something different for us, but like there were certain moments where like someone would slice someone up and they'd go Peak, and I'd be like, yeah, Peak.
Yeah.
But no, there are some that her Titan, the kind of like the crate Titan or whatever the fuck it was. The cart, yeah. Crate, yeah. Just put some bottles in me and off we go. The cart Titan, I love the concept of like how it can still be. Everyone looks at it as like, well, who the fuck would want that Titan? But like, if you're just fucking quick enough, then you can just use it to essentially just fucking careen into people at high speed and then just do it 100 times over.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's usually got like a fucking like a whole team just on it with guns and shit, which is quite cool as well.
Just crawling along. You're essentially the car. You just become the car for the group.
I tell you what, when I first watched season 4, all right, the episode where Eren shows up, well, not when the episode when he shows up, but a bit after that, and the episode where he talks to Reiner, okay,
Oh my god,
was one of the fucking greatest episodes of all time for me.
Yeah.
Because not only that, because then how it ends with the attack on Marley beginning, and then in the next episode when the scouts are coming in, the biggest fist pumping moment ever.
Yeah.
So much so that I forgot about the horrible things these people are going through, and I'm like, yeah, fucking kill them all. Fuck yeah.
I think that's one of the strengths of this show, right? That's again one of the reasons why it's just it's so elevated beyond some other stuff I've seen. Is it just it dances effortlessly between those viewpoints where you go like, the Marlians are getting murdered. Like, this is kind of sad in some instances. Like, not everyone here is a fucking Nazi, and a lot of them it's just taught hatred. Like, they don't know better than to question it. And then like and then the scout, I'm like, oh, this is kind of sad. And then the scouts come in and I'm like, got them all.
Yeah. Then you hear that ODM gas.
Yeah.
Those little whoosh, whoosh, like, fuck yeah, let's go.
And Levi, like, I don't know, his vocal performer is obviously very close to the mic, being like, "Let's get him," and I'm like, "Oh!"
Yeah,
mate, that fucking Eren and Reiner conversation, like that scene. Firstly, I just want to get this out of the way. The Lord Tiber being like, "Let's go to war," and Eren's like, "Fucking bet. How about now?" Yeah. I'm good for yesterday if you are, son. Yeah, man. So what were you saying about the Eren and Reiner conversation? Like it's one of your go-to.
It's just so great. It's just the complete shock on Reiner seeing Eren, first of all, be in Marley, and just like, obviously he'd be fucking terrified at that moment considering how things ended between them, and the fact that he's here where all his friends and family are and everything like that.
Yeah, and he knows this motherfucker does not stop.
He knows just how relentless this fucking cunt is. Doesn't know how fucking genocidal he is now. But,
oh Lord, yeah.
But yeah, that's something. Yeah, I just loved that whole moment. I loved fucking Reiner just sinking to his knees, begging for forgiveness, and then just saying like, you know, just kill me or whatever. And and all of that stuff. I loved fucking Eren just saying, "Yeah, don't worry about it. We are the same." You know, like everything you did, don't worry about it. It's fine. We're the exact same.
I'm about to do a whole lot worse, son.
I'm still gonna kill you and everyone here.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it though.
I think that's for Reiner as well. It serves on two fronts. One, it's Eren coming in and that obviously, like you said, being a fucking terrifying notion just for the people that he loves being in the close vicinity. But the other thing it does that I just think is so fucking clever from the show's perspective is what's that kid's name? Falco? Is it Falco?
Falco.
Yeah. Falco's in the room with him when this happens, right? And gets to essentially watch as in real time. You can practically see it in Falco's eyes. In real time, he watches as he realizes all those stories that were told about the island devils and all of this. They just crumble. And he goes, this fucking guy that he reveres as a fucking hero and wants to essentially, well, not wants to, but like looks at as if like this is a true Malian guy. Like this is a pinnacle of a man right here. Just watches as he falls to his knees. And it's the complete dismantling of Reiner as a character in everyone who respects him's eyes.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's just, I don't know, there's something about it. It's so, it really is the best character on the show.
He's great, man.
Yeah.
I love him so much. Yeah, he's great. Then the scouts show up. They introduce the Warhammer Titan, and then the Warhammer Titan gets killed.
Yes, straight up. I kind of like this though. It's just like it shows how like 4 seasons ago, right, 3 seasons back, the introduction of a new Titan would be like a half-season plot.
Yeah.
That they go, who is this Titan? What's the weakness of this Titan? How can we get around this Titan? And now they're just like, a new, fucking kill him.
Kill it, man.
Yeah. Cool though. The Warhammer Titan is very cool.
Very cool. Yeah. Obviously comes into play quite a bit later, but
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my god, man. When the later on, way ahead, but like, just Eren, like, look at all these old Titans.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll
fuck
get
off.
to that. We'll get to that. How did you feel about the Zeke stuff when like Zeke seemingly gets cut down and then we find out Zeke's betrayed Molly?
So he's a slippery devil, isn't he?
He is a slippery. Everyone's a slippery devil in this show, man.
They are, but he's a special caliber of snake. Like,
yeah.
He really is just like the. I would say, like, it's one of them funny scenarios where everyone on the show knows he's a slippery devil, but trusts him anyway for some reason, or like at least just goes with it. And then
Apart from Levi, I'll never trust him.
I like right. It's fucking. I don't know what it is. Right? Zeke could be just sat there, and like he goes like, "Hey Levi, what's the time?" And he's like, "Oh, it's 9:15. You bearded half-wit fuck-faced devil shit fuck."
Shut up, you hairy bastard.
yeah. Calls him beardy at one point. I'm like, this is just fucking. This is like infancy fucking level insults, but it's just any chance he can get a dig in on this guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really did like the kind of reveal that. Well, firstly, it's what you want, isn't it? If you're a scout, you want to. Oh, here's the Beast Titan. This guy always gets the job. Oh, dead? Oh, he's dead. Oh no.
He's dead.
So it's a great play by the scouts, but then kind of the way Zeke is a character I find a bit frustrating in places because the way he kind of bides time is very frustrating, and I think also ties up other characters quite a bit. Ties up Levi for quite a bit of the story. No moment for me goes harder than when Zeke is like, a moment to enjoy fresh air, finally, unburdened by the stress of carrying out everyone else's mission, and then Levi just decapitates him within a half second. It's like the first time this character has got to breathe air and just look upon the world in like an actual grateful for his existence way, and Levi just cuts him down immediately.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I love the Levi Zeke rivalry. It's just funny.
Yeah, because you know it's coming. You know Levi's gonna, at the earliest point where he's allowed to, he will take that man's life in a heartbeat.
100%.
Yeah. But no, I don't know. What do you make of it all? The traitor kind of swapping sides thing.
Interesting, yeah, and keep in mind, I watched this play out over like 3 years, so
Yeah.
frustrating and confusing. And then at times I was like, "So where is he at? Is he good? Is he bad? Is he playing Eren? Is he not playing Eren? Is Eren playing him? It's all very, very confusing. Very dense, this show, so fucking dense. But
I like that perspective of it though, like the fucking. He thinks he's playing Eren, but oh my god, he's being so played.
He doesn't understand the level to which he's being played.
Yeah.
Zeke is like, I've got that little fuck just where I want him. And Eren, he's already seen the future, all right? Bro is just like, all right, sure. And he just does not care. Right?
Zeke's like, look at these memories. And he's like, oh, wow. This is new information and cool.
Yeah. It's wild. We're just going to skip forward a little bit because it's fucking 41 minutes into this podcast.
Yeah.
You text me. Was it earlier today or yesterday at some point when you said, I fucking hate Eren or something?
Yeah.
And I was like, I know what scene you've just watched. Right. Was it by chance one set in a restaurant?
No, actually.
I don't then.
It was the scene where he spent the last fucking however many years being like, my dad sucks. And he was the one that twisted the knife and made his dad do it all.
It was the fucking the memories episode.
It was, yeah.
Oh, all right, interesting. Because the one where I was like, I fucking hate Eren was when he beat the shit out of Armin in the restaurant.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
horrendous on his part, just like
horrible. And the way he spoke to Mikasa as well, saying that he always fucking hated it, which we find out isn't true and stuff. But still, it's horrible.
But he makes her fucking live with that for way too long, and it's just. I mean, look, on the list of Eren's crimes, it's low on the list, shall we say. But just I don't know.
I like that he talks about it with Armin, though.
I do too, yeah. I think that whole... I mean, I kind of want to get your opinion on that a bit later on once we're wrapping up a little bit. Just the entire ending 10 minutes of this is very fucking...
It's probably not what a lot of people expect.
Right? Yes, that's where I'm at with it. That's why that's one of the main things I want to just be like, I want the context for the whole show again to soak that in a bit more, and let it sit with me and hold some space, just
Sure.
But no, the restaurant scene. To be honest, the whole restaurant, the way they like use the background characters in this, and I bring this up with the restaurant stuff because it brings in the cook guy and like
Niccolo,
and how his story kind of coincides with Sasha and Sasha's parents and Gabby.
I think in the I get the impression that in the manga there's quite a lot more of Niccolo's story.
Yeah.
And there's like quite a lot of backstory between him and Sasha because it wasn't really like there isn't much of it in the actual show. I think they probably have like 1 or 2 scenes together in the actual show.
Yeah.
But like you get the sense that there's like quite a deep relationship between him and Sasha.
Well, I mean, it breaks him to his fucking core. He almost has it. It has him holding a knife to a little girl's throat. So like, it's got to have landed on him to some degree. But I really like all of that stuff. I'll tell you what. Let's talk about when the show opens up a little bit beyond the attack of Marley. The attack of Marley with the. I think even when the series starts to slow down, it has a pretty eventful like first 6 or 7 episodes. And then it starts to kind of fall back into its older rhythm where it's like, right, let's get some lore, let's reestablish where these characters are at, find out what the world looks like. I loved it that we're shown now how the people on the island have adapted to the knowledge of an outside world. And how Historia's government is sitting with the people. I like all of that stuff. I find it really interesting that we're starting to see people come over from Marley and integrate themselves within Paradis and that community. Like, what do you make of all of that stuff? Because that's how we get the Niccolo chef stuff. He's from Marley.
It's interesting because it's kind of like watching the people of Paradis, the Eldians, kind of just make the exact same mistakes that Marley did.
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
because like they have these people from Mali come over, and granted, they are soldiers and they are there to kill them and stuff and everything like that, but they're just immediately like, hey, we're going to take you all prisoner, and you're all going to live here as our prisoners, okay?
Yeah.
And you're all going to have less rights, and we'll treat you less well than we treat everyone else. So they're just making the exact same mistake that fucking Mali does with the Eldians, really. So it's interesting to see it from that point of view. And then we get, to meet some interesting characters like Onion Capone, who's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yelena, who's just fucking weird, but weirdly in love with Zeke or whatever's going on there.
I found that kind of a bit cultish and a bit...
it's definitely cultish, yeah. It definitely is supposed to be, yeah.
I don't know, I found elements of that story a little bit at arm's length from. I couldn't really fully connect to it because I didn't truly understand Yelena and that and kind of what went on there. I think it's mainly because any association to Zeke, I'm like, it's when the show gets a bit fucking weird for me, like a bit too out of the ordinary.
She's just in love with Zeke or whatever. But.
Yeah, but it's like to the point where she wants to fucking let's follow up on his mission and all of this. I'm like, bro, I don't think he knows what his mission is, so I don't really know what that means.
Yeah.
On
Young Capone's pretty cool. I like it one moment. I think it's Sasha goes, "Hey, on Young Capone, why are you black?"
Yeah. And he's like, I've never had to answer this before. That's really caught me off guard a little bit. I was like, oh yeah, I guess that is something that is not encountered. Yeah.
Yeah, they are all white. Well, apart from Mikasa. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, the making the same mistakes thing is exact. I couldn't have fucking put it better, right? Unfortunately, it just the show is about this to a whole. I think, I think the ending makes it very fucking clear what the show's intention is to take away from, this kind of futility of war and how inevitable every conflict is. You will never, unfortunately, people are too complex. And will always differ to the point, and where it's on nationwide scales, obviously conflict and acts of aggression turn into war very quickly, and it's that is something that's so interesting. You watch them go because realistically, right, the people of Paradis, they just can't go, come and have a sit at the table. Let's fucking chill.
No, yeah.
So you understand why they do it.
Again, they are there to kill them. They are there to fight a war and to kill them. All right. So yeah, of course they're not going to fucking roll out the red carpet for that.
Yeah.
But again, it is interesting just to see them. You take these people in, benefit from them being there in the terms of that they teach them how the world is advanced. They teach them how to build, roads and infrastructure and railways and all this kind of stuff. And they really bring their world and elevate it and elevate it forward and that kind of stuff. And then by the end of it, they're still, like, you see Commander Pixis talking to them all like, yeah, we still have guns on you. Sorry about that. It's a bit inconvenient after all you've done for us, and I hope you can forgive us, but we still have to have these guns on you, you know?
And that's where it's gone wrong. That's that wider trust should have been met with fucking some leniency on rules and restrictions, which is obviously something that they're not familiar with, and that's hopefully, you would like to have thought practices they could have taken home. But
yeah, definitely.
By the end of the show, there's fucking no home that exists. So, it's a bit tough.
And then a fucking kind of a civil war kicks off in Eldia with fucking the Jaegerists, led by obviously Eren and Flak, who I fucking hate.
Right, last week, I've been waiting for this, right? Because last week, yes, he was an asshole. Right, because he was fucking. You'd have to get a fucking crane to engineer his way out of Eren's ass. Right, he's such a fucking prick and a bootlicker and everything. Right, but you were like, when we spoke about him for like less than a fucking minute, I think. But the way you went, I fucking hate him, and I went, oh, I didn't quite have that level of venom for him.
Yeah, you just wait.
Oh my god. He died. People were like, I'm here with you, Fluck, as you die. And I'm like, fucking throw him in the river, drown him quicker.
Him.
Like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy, man. He's the worst character on the show. Yeah. I hate him so much. He's the real villain of the piece.
Yeah. Well, no, but there's an element of it that I think the show is really good at examining larger world concepts within the microcosms of the characters themselves, right? Because Eren is obviously an embodiment of the fucking the power of Titan and the power of mass control, which is something that the Malian government have had for too long, and something that the Malian government fear that the fucking Eldians once had, right? This idea of total, complete fucking domination. And for me, what Flock represents is this idea of a government becoming too imbued to an ideology, where he goes like, oh, Eren said I should round up everyone and kill them. And then he just goes power fucking crazy. He pulls one trigger and gets a fucking taste for it, and realizes the only way he actually can be an effective tool of war is when the cards are completely fucking stacked in his favor. And it's just a genuinely spineless fucking piece of shit of a bloke.
He's such a piece of shit. He thinks he's so right as well.
Yeah.
He sees himself as the hero and the liberator of parody and all this kind of stuff. And it's what a weird little creep. I fucking hate him so much.
He says at one point, like, Eren's out there doing this, so I'm taking care of the home front. I'm like, Eren has forgotten you exist. Like, you are.
Eren is playing
everything.
you like a fucking pawn, my dude. All right? You are a fiddle. You're less than a fiddle to that man. All right, it's insane. I fucking hate him.
It is insane.
I'm glad he's dead.
Yeah, same. I was like genuinely watching it, and I was like, yeah, that feels right. If anything, that feels late. Give me that a bit earlier.
Well, yeah, you kind of has two deaths. You're like, yeah, fuck you, he's finally dead, and then he shows up and fucking shoots the plane in the shit. You're like, oh, fuck's sake, not this cunt.
You really do ruin absolutely everything. Fuck.
He does. Yeah, what a prick. I knew there's so much to discuss, man. We're almost at an hour in.
I know, but there's too much. This is the trouble with this one. Yeah. Right? There's a lot. Really quickly, because I don't know if we'll get a chance to bring it up, but kind of before we move on from the part 1 stuff, I reckon. Yeah. Even though we're kind of already in part 2 anyway. But the Sasha's father's speech about getting lost in the forest.
Oh, beautiful.
Mate, genuinely one of the most beautiful pieces of writing I've heard in recent memory. Like, just phenomenal. This idea that, like, she grew up and it was a kill or be killed environment, and then when she went away to join, like, the cadets and then the scouts and everything else, it became just a different methodology of the kill or be killed lifestyle, and how kids spend too long in that lifestyle. And what does he say? Something, no kid should no kid should have to stay in the forest.
Yeah, 100%. Well, just what a beautiful moment, and just what an amazing character as well. You know, just so willing to welcome in the girl that killed his daughter, and just so willing to just forget that, because he can recognize the cycle of violence and the cycle of abuse and manipulation that she has gone through, and doesn't want that for her. Like, she's a fucking kid at the end of the day, man. She's a fucking child who's been lied to and brainwashed and all this kind of stuff, and it really is a beautiful moment. Shout out to that cowboy.
Shout out to that cowboy, indeed. Yeah, genuinely could not have predicted this character would be this kind of insightful and wizened from his brief time in the show beforehand. But yeah, genuinely incredible, and it really serves Gabby's character as well. I think that might be one of the defining turning points for her to go, I think I'm waking up a little bit here from whatever this is. Yeah,
definitely.
And also, I think it shows the caliber of personhood, right? Because you've got fucking what's the chef's name again?
Niccolo.
Yeah, you've got Niccolo holding a knife, like we spoke about earlier, and he's like, "You're the man of the house. You take action." And he's like, "I'll take action, but it would be to calm you the fuck down." Like, he really, like, just, I noticed, I thought it was so specific how they said, "You're the man of the house, you get to take this moment." And then he, as the man of the house, quote unquote, took that moment in a completely different direction that really encapsulated caliber of personhood, I think.
What a king. What an absolute king. We stan a king who can recognize the cycles of male violence and says, no, actually, no, thank you.
Yeah. Good on him. Anyway.
Yeah.
Good cowboy.
Good cowboy. We love that cowboy.
Fucking...
Right, part 1 ends with basically the Malians coming to parody, and, like, the attack is back on, basically.
Yeah, fucking it kicks off again.
We're in Shiganshina again. There's war again. It's all going to kick off, and it's basically Reiner and Eren, the showdown part fucking 7 or whatever.
Oh my god, these two, man. They even like Reiner is so tired, man. Even the
Their
first
beef is eternal.
it really is. Mate, the first showdown of like of the Malians dropping Reiner into this kind of conflict with a foreign nation that we didn't really know that well. Right.
Yeah.
And just how he sees like a kind of wall and he goes more like I don't even remember what he says, but he's like more walls. And then just the way he like sadly
I'm so
slices his
sick
hand
of all these fucking walls. He doesn't say fucking, but yeah.
It's a great moment. Just the way he has the knife, he so passively aggressively just slices his hand open and he's like, guess I'm doing war again.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Fucking you see Eren like punched him a bit and I'm just I'll leave it out.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
I do. I love the moment where like they're scrapping or whatever, and then like I think Reiner actually gets the best of him, but it's a trick from Eren part just so he can de-Titan, jump out of the Titan, and then just start fucking sprinting towards Zeke. That's a really cool moment until Gabby shoots his fucking head off.
Oh my god, yeah. I'll tell you what, there are so many. I think it happened like 3 times this week where I texted you going, oh my god. Oh, never mind. It happens with Armin getting shot, and then like
the Armin getting shot on is strange because you forget that he's a Titan because he fucking doesn't ever use his power until he absolutely has to. And fair play as well, like he fucking hates it.
Yeah,
so I can understand. But yeah, you forget that dude can heal.
Yeah, you do, and like the first shot you kind of see of him in this season, kind of rocks up on a little sailboat in the port for Marley, and they go, "What are you doing here? We're doing a war. Get the fuck out of here!" And he's like, "Nuclear bomb."
I'm a nuke, actually.
Yeah, he nukes them all, and then spends the next like 3 episodes being like, "I hate nuking people. Stop making me nuke people."
Absolutely fair.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't like it either, really.
Would take a toll, I think. Would bear heavy on the soul, nuking people.
I think it definitely would. Yeah.
Oh dear. What do you think? What do you make of all this stuff with the wine, the secret espionage stuff?
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, it's the way it's played out with the Levi and Zeke moment is so very cool. Yeah, like once Levi realizes that the wine that he sees like fucking Zeke legging for it and he's like, what the fuck's going on there? Yeah. And then he like puts it all together and works out what the fuck is going on. And then the look of realization as the fucking lightning starts to flash and all his fucking his comrades start to fucking turn into Titans. Brutal. And that moment of like, oh, don't make me do this. Don't make me kill all my friends and stuff. And then he does. He fucking slaughters all of them.
That's one of my favorite things about Levi, right? Because he's so, those tiny moments you get, the tiny little windows into his soul that you see that he lets people in on, you go, oh man, my heart breaks for you, brother. Yeah. And then I like that he has none of that physique though. Like he has that he doesn't bring any of that emotionality when he catches up with him. Like he just does start fucking hacking away at them. And then when he catches up with Zeke, he has the fucking coldest line where he goes, "What gave you the impression you could escape from me?"
Yeah,
and it's just
he says something like, "Did you really think I wouldn't kill them?" or something like that. Like, did you think that turning my comrades would be enough to stop me? That I would just roll over and take it?
Yeah,
I'm fucking Levi Ackerman, bitch. All right?
Yeah, exactly. He says you have no idea how many friends I've had to kill, and it's just exactly. Like, oh my lord! And then he catches up with him, and it just immediately. It's just it's so short lived from Zeke. Like he'll never escape that.
Which is quite satisfying, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very satisfying to just see Zeke eat shit and like genuinely scream in pain and be scared because he is scared of Levi.
Oh, he is terrified. You were really right when you said it would come back. Like, bro spends a season quaking in the boots. And then ultimately, I actually can't begin to tell you what, like it, because those final 2, it ends up being about 2.5 hours, the specials, when you put them together, right?
It's a movie, basically. It's a movie.
Yeah, it is. And just the way it kind of comes together, and we said earlier, when Zeke finally gets a moment to catch his breath and goes, look at the sea, it's beautiful. Yeah. And then just that release, that tension release of just the show knows what it's doing in the way it just whooshing, and then his head is clean off, and then we don't see him again.
That's it. He's dead.
Yeah.
Just a quick decapitation of it.
Yeah. I mean, and you don't even see Levi reveling in it. He just does it. He goes, job done.
Yeah.
Fucking, and you're like, fair, dude. Yeah.
It's great. I love it. Yeah. I want to get into the memories and shit.
Yeah, go for it.
How did this come about? How I don't know. Pretty fucking insane that whole episode. Just the moment where you realize what's going on, and like Eren has been pulling the strings on all of this for the whole time, even before he was born. Eren has been pulling the strings on this, which is fucking wild to think about. Really,
it's crazy. It's a fucking incredible episode. And I really need to stress, when I speak about Eren as a character, I am not talking about the performance. The performance is fucking unbelievable. Yeah. Like, it really is. But this whole episode, and just the way it really pulls the wool back on everything, it just makes you understand the show is so cleverly teeing him up as the central antagonist. Because you go, this spoilt fucking attitude that this guy has had his entire life, this kind of woe is me mentality, and you finally realize that it's been him essentially causing his own pain. Like, later on, with the fucking redirects the fucking Titan, mate, like, to do that, and then to show us that he still goes with it, and still does it, you go like, you are lost, man. I don't know you. I don't fucking, like, any connection I had to you as a character that I could appreciate is gone. Yeah, it's so clever. It's a really, really good shift, and just like you said, it was bold. Like, the fact that they pulled it off is fucking crazy. And like, there's a part of me that looks at Zeke in that scene, who I genuinely think might be my least favorite character in the show as a main central player. And I look at him, and when he's terrified of Eren, I go, oh no.
For me, it's Grisha. It's Grisha being terrified of Eren, and it's Eren talking to Grisha and basically saying like, "Get up, fucking kill them."
Yeah.
And while Grisha is just cowering, and then seeing him after he's killed the royal family, after he's killed Historia's family, and all that kind of stuff afterwards, seeing him just try to level with that and try to rationalize, and then like seeing Zeke and being like, "Oh, fucking," the way he's talking about Eren to Zeke and stuff, it's, I don't know, it's scary almost. Like, he talks about Eren like he's some fucking horrifying monster. Well, he kind of is, really, but like some fucking horrifying creature who can't be stopped at all. And it's so interesting and juicy and terrifying.
It is all those things, juicy especially. I think you can pull off that level of fear when you have a character that becomes so ethereal and godlike, like Eren does. Like, just, he becomes this larger than life figure where he has control over everything that is and was and will be. And you go like,
he's so beyond human. He's so beyond humanity. He's not human anymore, really, because of what he's seen, because of that moment when he touches Historia's hand, and then he basically sees everything at that point. He sees everything he's going to do. He sees the future. He sees the past. He sees it all laid out in front of him. And, later we find out he has tried to stop it. He's trying to do other things, but he can't. He's kind of powerless to it all, really, which is
kind of,
I don't know.
It recontextualizes that moment where the peace talks break down and we see him leave as well. Like that when it reframes that and what was going on in his head at that time, you kind of just see him resign himself to like, why bother? Why fucking bother keep fighting this? Like,
it's really interesting to see, I think, how the sort of like the memories and the time travel stuff work, really, because like, it's not necessarily time travel in the sense that like fucking, well, it's difficult because, like,
fucking called it, by the way.
You didn't really.
No, I know, but I was a little bit there.
He was a little bit there. I'll give you that, but he was not quite. Because, like, I get the sense that, like, it's kind of a closed loop. That what's happening always is happening, right? And there's nothing that can change. Like, Eren can't go into the past and change stuff because it's always been that way. Like, he may be manipulating his father and saying this stuff to him, but I get the sense that like there's no alternate reality here, you know? There's no different version of events where things don't plan out this way. I think it always has to happen this way.
Well, the show's formatted in a way that this has happened in our brains. And it's just now interesting that it happened because Aaron made it happen. But, like, yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. There was no moment of the show where I thought, like, it's kind of sad because you do want to blame Aaron, right? You really do want to blame him because...
But you can't, really.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
I mean, you can, because he does commit genocide and kill a lot of people. So, absolutely. But also... Look, it's complicated.
It is, right? Yeah. It's one of them things where there's so many layers to it, and so many buts attached to it that you kind of have to draw a line in the sand, which I think the show articulates quite well with the fact that Armin and Mikasa kind of remain the only two people that have some vague understanding of that.
And that's why I think it's quite interesting where Yelena is like, told you. You know, she's like, fucking, like, admit it. You have to admit it. Zeke's plan was better. And, like, I'm like, I don't know about that, Chief, because on the one hand, it is just logically better in the sense that when you have the trolley problem, killing the one person is better than killing the 5 people. Okay, logically, that is the better choice. Okay, but don't get me wrong. You're still committing genocide, all right?
Yeah.
Zeke's plan, the euthanization plan, is still genocide. Yeah. It's just slower, okay?
Yeah. And infinitely less violent and abrasive and in your face. Yeah, but it's
100%. Yes.
It's still absolutely an assault on a fucking race, specifically because of that race. Yeah, it's man, it's a fucking crazy scenario to find yourself in when the main character of your show is genociding people, and you're like.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I love Doctor Who.
Yeah, for real. Every single character in this show should have had a moment where they do the Mitchell and Webb. Hang on, are we the baddies?
Yeah. I think they kind of do at points.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting to see. Can I talk about my favorite episode just for a moment? I can't remember the name of it. But it's the one where the Marlians and the Scouts are all around the campfire before they go to, like, fucking to the port, basically.
Yeah.
I think the most arguably beautiful episode of the entire show, really. I don't know what it is. If you told me that they got, like, fucking, I don't know, Scorsese or Spielberg or someone to direct this episode, I'd be like... Yeah, that weirdly makes sense because for an anime show, for an animated show, it's so well directed in the
really
sense of like what the shots linger on and the shots that are chosen and that kind of stuff. And you have like the Marlians talking about their history of abuse and stuff, but like we're focusing on the nature and wildlife. We're focusing on shots of trees and branches and flowers and all this beauty while they talk about the most horrible stuff that's happened to them. And I don't know, it's just really interesting to me.
Yeah. I completely agree. There was a part of me first, right? And I think I was looking at this to be like, did you ever get it sometimes where you watch something and go like, I have a podcast and I have to talk about some of this stuff later?
100%. I physically... Doing this has fundamentally changed the way I watch stuff.
Yeah.
For the worse. For 100% for the worse. I can no longer just watch stuff. I'm now, whenever I watch stuff, I'm constantly thinking about stuff I can say about it later.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly thinking about little bits and little things I can say and everything like that. It's fundamentally broken the way I watch shit.
But I think that's a good thing and a bad thing, right? Because for me, I think it's made me try and look a bit deeper into it, so I can be like, oh, let's actually think about kind of stuff like this, rather than like the average read is like Eren did a genocide, and the other one is like it's a fucking it's an entire metaphor surrounding the futility of war and everything else, which is not wow, what an in-depth fucking read, like it. But I there was a part of me that was like watching this episode unfold, and I had to turn off kind of a critical part of my brain because I was like, the shots of nature when they started to appear and these trees and these kind of birds on branches and stuff like that. There was a part of me that was like, oh, they're doing this because it's cheaper to animate. Yeah.
And that may be a part of it.
Yeah, but the artistry behind it, even if it was, because let's be honest, yeah, it's a numbers game to a lot of studio heads, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah, but like they utilize those moments because it doesn't happen when it doesn't need to happen. It happens at a moment where they are strictly speaking on horrible things that have happened, but elevating the scenery and the people around them to make it feel like a safe, warm space where you can discuss horrific things.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was a part of me that was like gonna come on here and be like, oh, there's a bit budget saving and whatever, but like that just kind of ignores the fucking intention of it, which is
100%
beautiful and a look into like, but before a genocide happens, it's a look into like this is another option that is possible. So when the scouts are fighting later on with the help of like the previous scouts in the kind of the Malians and stuff, you go like that's what they're fighting for. They're trying to regain some semblance of this, of a world that they can see a potential in that Eren was never fucking around to look at.
That was the episode I fell in love with Gabi.
Yeah,
as a character, she's like 10 or whatever. Like, not to be weird about it, but like, as a character, that's the episode where I was like, I was wrong. I was 100% wrong to hate this character and stuff. And I think just the way a show can introduce a character and purposefully make you dislike them, and then just fully turn that around is so well done, so interesting. Last of Us does the exact same thing again. With Abby, purposefully like, oh, you're gonna fucking hate this character, and you do. And then by the end, if you're not a fucking idiot, you can.
If you get to the end and don't get your opinions from Reddit,
if you don't rage quit immediately, then yes, you can see what they were doing.
Oh, those pixels meant so much to me. I look, fucking art can mean everything to anyone, right? But just engage with it, and you'll have a better time with it.
100%.
For me, the moment where I was like, "Oh, I'm Team Gabi, ride or die," was when she rocked that 50 cal into that cunt's head, just fucking obliterated him.
It was funny just to see his head come clean off, and then to be like, "Fuck, what happens now?"
Yes. Just in the way it cuts back and she's kind of riding on the back of this winged titan and she's just got a fucking absolute Gatling on her.
Oh, wait, that one. I thought you was talking about fucking her shooting off Eren's head.
Oh, don't look, Queen of 360 no scopes, Gabi. But
she is, really.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, both great moments. Just both absolute fucking. Look, I've been getting a few sneaky sniper shots in on Fortnite. I can relate.
All right, shut up. No, you haven't.
I have. You missed them.
You haven't. You can't shoot anyone on Fortnite.
I'm very good at shooting people on Fortnite.
You know, you're terrible.
I've got royales. You look done. I tell you something I do really want to talk about. Is it's really sad to watch people's morals fold in on themselves when the tides turn, right? Like the Eldians in the island, they've went from victims you could get behind to the winners of a war, and then finally when they actually have a choice about where they draw the line in the sand, it speaks a lot of volumes about a lot of people where they decide to draw that line. Like with Flock and everything like that, and the people that the Jaegerists or whatever they're called, like. Essentially, the civil war that breaks out, it's the first time in a long time you get to see, like, right now these people aren't as desperate as they were. Who's not tapped in the head and who is?
It was interesting because I couldn't help thinking about the Hunger Games when I was watching it, and you know that moment in the last one where they've won and they're sat around the table, and then they're all like, right, we've won this, great, we can start our Brave New World and everything.
Yeah.
But what if we did a Hunger Games, you know? It's just, again, I said it earlier, just refusing to learn the lessons and just making the same mistakes again. Because, yeah, you're right. Once the Eldians, once they get, like, a bit of power, once they get, like, free from the oppression they was under, they're like, well, who can I oppress now?
Yeah, how can I leverage this power and get on top kind of thing?
Yeah. And seeing, like, and when Flock is saying, like, hey, yeah, you can join our brave new Eldian Empire, or you can die, and all that kind of stuff. Like, well, what choice are you giving them there?
Yeah, that's really, not fucking choice. Like,
yeah,
that choice is something I want to talk about in a second. But like the all of that stuff, and how, like you say, who shall I oppress with this newfound power I have? It's so disappointing to watch cycles perpetuate and continue because people fundamentally are afraid because if they don't leverage that power, how long will it be before someone leverages it and takes it away from them? Like it obviously comes from a place of deep fucking fear, and I think that's excellently explored in the character of Fluck, because he is just a coward, just an absolute sniveling coward. You never see him on a battlefield if he's not fucking got everyone else tied up first. Like, it's
100%.
very, very interesting.
What a little bitch.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad he's dead.
Yeah, fuck him. Fuck him into the ground.
I said that twice. Kill him.
I tell you what, I do, speaking of choice, kind of going into the... Are you right if we move on to the end specials?
Annie.
Oh, Annie. Okay, yeah.
Yes. Love. It happens a little earlier on in the season. We have. I think it's the first time we've cut back to Annie since season 1.
Mate,
really.
When they said like Eren's like he's unbound all the Titans hardening.
Oh, I'm talking about before that when we see Armin talking to her.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to that in a second. Don't worry about it. I'm coming to that.
Okay, all right.
Hold on.
Because I was fist pumping.
Yeah. But like we haven't seen Annie's been trapped in this fucking crystal or whatever, this crystal rock since season 1.
Yeah.
Right? We haven't
She's still
seen
wearing
her
her
since
cadet
then.
gear.
She exactly. Poor girl hasn't had a shit in 4 years. All right. Yeah, it's insane. We haven't checked in on her since then. She's been in flashbacks and stuff, but like as the story progresses, Annie has not been around since then. So yeah, I think it's just a great reveal when we see Armin talking to her at like the end of that episode, the pullback and reveal that's who he's talking to the whole time.
Yeah.
But then yes, when the walls have come down and once they find out that Reiner's armor fell off, and then they're like, wait, so that means all the hardening stuff came undone?
And then you
Then
just
that means who's flying the plane?
No, it's when you cut back, right, and you see her, and she's just kind of enveloped in this goo that's kind of slowly oozing off of her, and then like even cuts back to I think it's such a great way to be like this show's really specifically very good at being like, what happens next?
Yeah, it
And
really
like at
is,
the end
yeah.
of every episode, that to be continued as a fucking hold on me that I need to, and I'm now gonna have to struggle to break. I'm just like, I keep refreshing it, like, where's the new special? What's next? But it's funny because what's gonna happen next to be continued, and then literally the next episode, like Annie's like, I've got you, and you're like, mate, you have the strength of a 90-year-old fucking pensioner.
Yeah.
You have not got anyone.
You've been sleeping in a goo in a rock for 4 years, all right? It's a miracle you can even walk.
Yeah, it really is, yeah.
It's good though. I tell you what, fucking once you see her tighten up again, like at the port, like when it's her and Reiner, that moment where they both transform, fucking hell, I'm fist pump. They got me fist pumping for Reiner and Annie, the villains of series 1 and 2. And here I am, like, fuck yes.
But they're reclaiming
Kill those
it.
Eldian devils.
It's the reclaiming it kind of thing. Like they're using the power for a
100%.
cause they actually want to fucking pursue.
Definitely.
Yeah, man, great stuff. I really want to talk, kind of following on from what I was saying a little bit, and Annie definitely comes into this as well. In fact, it's mostly about Annie. What I want to say, in the first special, especially kind of in the opening half of it, or the kind of the first half of it, there's a really, really nice and intentional focus placed on people making choices. Like Armin choosing to let Annie go, Annie choosing not to go.
Are we going into the specials here?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. If so, can I just mention one thing beforehand?
Go, shoot.
Shout out to I forgot his name.
An epic shout out.
The Malian general or admiral or whatever his name is.
Oh, I know the guy you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and then fucking Commandant Shondes or whatever, who like he trained the cadets, and then their fucking team up at the end. The tears that I shed,
man,
when these two kings gave up their life. Okay, so what a fucking beautiful moment that is. What a, and especially with the Malian general, who like even quite close to the end was still like, fuck these fucking Eldians, you know, fuck them. I'm just here looking after myself and for the country of Mali. But then he did have the change of heart, and it's such a beautiful moment to see.
It's very beautiful. It's I don't know, man. There's something you kind of get it a little bit later on with Connie and John as well. Like the way they're like, I don't know what it is. Two dudes embracing, facing the end, facing the worst of situations. Just like, oh, you're always gonna fucking get me right there, man.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, quickly before we move on to the specials as well. I pull one out for fucking Commander Pegasus or whatever his name was.
Oh, Pixis.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro got tightened.
Got tightened.
That was a great death.
Yeah.
With Armin's little speech and his little thank you and everything like that.
Mate, the whole like we never would have got to where we were without you. Rest in peace. And like the I don't know, there was something really fucking respectful and just something very interesting, given that we've watched this in a sort of binge format for a month now. We've lived with this show quite extensively, and it's nice to see the evolution of these. This isn't the Scouts struggling to slaughter beasts. This is the Scouts honorably and respectfully putting them down, and laying them to rest. And it's them having the full control, and for me it just read like a real passing of the torch moment, like because they make a point so specifically of saying like this wine was pretty much reserved, apart from the odd Scouts that drank it, but like this wine was pretty much reserved for like high ranking officials, decision makers in the government and the old command. And it felt like a real passing of the torch moment where the show is fully embracing whatever new life it lies ahead for them beyond this now.
Yeah, definitely.
The music was fucking lovely. It's really good.
Music's always so great in the show.
Yeah, it really was. Quickly, theme songs. Where you at?
We'll get to that at the end. We'll do that.
Okay. We'll do that in that segment, theme songs.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Right.
All right, specials. Yes, finally. Yes, choices, whatever you want to say.
Yes, there's a really intentional choice on people making choices, right? Armin choosing to let Annie go and Annie choosing to leave. Levi choosing to fight despite the fact that, like, bro is rocked to fuck. Like, bro is, like, on death's door. Reiner choosing to continue on and fight despite every single person in that plane having some serious beef with him. And just the fact that everyone's choice to put that kind of aside and to hopefully find some redemption in this kind of mission. It's almost like a suicide mission. It very much reads like all of them are gonna not make it out of this.
I don't think any of them think they're necessarily coming back from this. Yeah. I mean, Levi's fucking hardly alive as it is, man.
Yeah,
Levi's fucked up.
Every shot to him where he's like missing a fucking eye, and he's like he's got scar every inch of his face that isn't bandaged, which is like less than 20%, is covered in scars. I'm like, I'll let my man rest. When I saw him in his wheelchair at the end, I got so happy. I was like, look. Time to sit down, brother. You have carried this war for way too long.
Fucking try watching the show as it aired, man. I didn't know that cunt was alive for like a year.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh god. They do brutal. That. The show's really good at being like, this guy's obviously dead.
Yeah.
Anyway, see you in 6 episodes. All right, we got a fucking. My first note with the specials is about Hanji designating Armin the new commander, but there's a lot before that, obviously.
Just before that, yeah. Well, it's not really something we need to go into, but just the way it opens with the 2 kids in Mali and the fucking the little immigrant kids, the same ones who who would have like been part of the group that let Eren and his friends like drink with them and share their food and stuff and shelter them for the night and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Beautiful episode. I really love that moment where we see all that in the flashbacks. And then the very next episode opens with Founding Titan, who, by the way, hilarious how that Founding Titan looks. And fucking horrible looking, really.
Grotesque.
We haven't really spoke about the rumbling much, but it's all happening anyway.
Just really, really quickly, the rumbling. What a fucking unique and interesting concept for an Armageddon. Yeah. Just like, you got enough big cunts, they all walk in a line, you're fucked. Everyone's dead.
You're fucked. They're all dead. Yeah. It's true. What was I saying? Yeah, those kids, just the way it opens with those kids and them like hiding the money and then seeing the townspeople like, what the fuck are they doing? Why are they all running and stuff? And then the flashback to the kid meeting Eren and the way he saved him, but he almost didn't save him because he was like, what's the fucking point, man?
Yeah.
I'm just going to kill him in a few years. And I can't even stress how brutal it is. Just the slowly seeing the foot crush his head.
With the teeth coming like
Yes.
blistering out. Oh my lord, yeah.
Truly insane.
And
If anyone is under the impression that animated stories are for children,
Yeah.
watch this show and tell me that, okay?
Mate, watch people get pushed to the edge of a cliffside as a mass
Yes.
population because it's the last safe haven they can go to. Watch people slowly topple off the cliff because it's a fucking conveyor slot belt of like who can hold on the longest. And watch a baby get crowd surfed forward as strangers just try and keep this baby alive as long as possible.
Another beautiful moment in terms of like well-directed stuff, by the way.
Oh my mate, that was the scene where I turned to my wife and I went, "This is actually quite hard to watch. This is actually quite emotionally affecting." Like, I don't know, man. You fucking put a baby on top of a cliff and like just watch parents struggle to keep this baby alive at the detriment of their own lives.
The mother of the baby does die.
Yeah.
The mother of the baby falls, and like the baby almost dies, but then people like grab it and crowd surf it and stuff, and it's
that moment towards the end where the baby comes down, where they can pull the baby back down, and someone's holding it. I'm just like, oh, thank God.
yeah.
yeah.
It's wild. We've skipped ahead a little bit, but just in terms of like sequences we enjoy, there is that sequence where it's showing you the rumbling, but it kind of spreads out to the rumbling all over the world, and you see the devastation it's having. You see it like through the desert and the snow and all this kind of stuff, and all over the world. And then there's shots of horrible violence and people screaming and being crushed and begging, and then it's just a shot of the apathetic looking Titan kind of looking down as it walks over. More shots of screaming and violence and horrid things, and another apathetic shot of the Titan just looking down, barely even not registering what it's doing at all, because I don't think it even can. It's just a thing, just a mindless thing.
It's a complete fucking tool, isn't it? Like it's that shot of like the guy driving his car, like thinking he's slick through the crowd, like,
oh yeah.
I'll get out of this. I got my 1920s old timey car. And then
but then people like dragging him out of it and trying to take it for themselves and stuff,
and it's all in vain because the foot just comes down on them anyway.
Exactly.
Horrendous fucking stuff. It's genuinely, like I said it a second ago, it's really some of this imagery is so affecting. Some of it really makes you go like, God, fucking hate these people or not, these hoity-toity racists, right? It's just not nice to see a mass fucking slaughter.
No,
it's not. I don't think you can be a human being and look at that and go like, oh, cool. All right, can we talk about fucking Hanji?
Hanji, my beloved, my fucking OG. That 1-2
punch, by the way, that cruel trick. That extremely cruel trick that they played on you after she cuts everyone down.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here with that.
Wait a minute. And then you're like, oh.
Yeah.
You know?
It really is. It's a 1-2 punch, and then the third element of it is just like immense relief that she's somewhere that is nice, but at the same time, what that means, and you go, oh my God. Rip the Band-Aid off, right? Firstly,
she dies.
Hanji designating Armin the new commander.
Makes sense,
but I cried human tears.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's just this kind of gets echoed with Levi a little bit later, but the most important thing that a commander needs to do is not fucking make the best plays. It's to retain a curiosity for life and a general optimistic outlook on situations that seem dire. And, like, how that kind of interacts with what the show's always explored, which is Armin's view of freedom versus Eren's view of freedom, and how Eren views himself as a slave to desiring freedom, whereas Armin's like, I just want to see the ocean and live cool times with my buds. Like, I want to know about the world and pick flowers and be nice. Like, that's, I don't know, man, just that Hanji kind of realizing that within him, and Armin needing to hear that before he went into battle against his fucking best friend is crazy fucking great.
And then Hanji fucking doing amazing by the way, taking out
Yeah.
the Titans, the colossal Titans. Like, the amount she takes out is genuinely impressive, okay? And I know they know more about Titans now, and they know, like, the most effective way to kill them, and they have Thunder Spears. But, like, flashback to just a few years ago where it was a miracle they could take down even one of these cunts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's insane. She literally went out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
Literally.
Mate,
My girl fucking killed it, alright?
When she literally, like, the ODM gear and everything else started, like, it was the fire from the heat of the Titans, but also the ODM gear that set alight. And just watching her go down as she completely sets on fire and it engulfs her. Just the spirit that she walks off in. She gets a fucking salute from Levi.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my lord. That is... genuinely one of my favourite scenes in the entire fucking show. Just like, what a great way for a character to go out on their own terms.
Pull one out for my queen, Angie.
And then fucking Irvin, man.
Yeah,
he's back.
Anytime just the scouts pop up, like the dead scouts pop up in the background, I just start tearing up immediately. Like, skipping ahead, but the moment with Levi at the end fucking kills me every time. Just when he's just leaning against that rock and just sees all the scouts, sees Hanji, sees Irvin, it just it kills me, man.
Yeah, it's fucking ruthless because the show knows it's fucking, you've grown attached to these fucking characters and just they get picked off so fucking mindlessly at points. Like, it's I don't know, man, it's great. Just the way go on.
I was just gonna say, but that moment of like you're right, the 1-2 punch of Hanji waking up in whatever this afterlife is and seeing the scouts again, seeing Irvin again, it is heartbreaking and it is an emotional gut punch, but then there's something sweet about it as well. There's something sweet about the way that Irvin greets her and he's like, hey, we can talk about it, we have all the time we need here and stuff. And there's something very pleasant about that.
It's a sense of faith, isn't it? It's a sense of like, it'll be all right for these characters. And it's also, it feels like a rightfully earned fucking reward. Like, you give your life and now you get to, like, observe. Like, that was the whole thing with Irvin's send-off last season, where it was essentially do you want to keep fucking fighting and become this fucking devil? Which obviously came back in a big way, but, like, do you want to keep fighting and become this devil? Do you want to go out on your own terms as a good person, like doing a good thing? And it's just, rather than just getting mindlessly crushed by a fucking titan in service of no one. So yeah, lovely fucking scene. Lovely scene.
Lovely.
Anyway, then it's like fucking Attack on Titan, the movie. Essentially, like...
I mean, it basically is. It's like... It's just, hey, let's fight all the Titans that have ever existed on this big Titan.
Attack some Titans. the film.
It's wild. The first time you see Zeke's Beast Titan and he's all white now, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? What's this ghost version of Zeke doing, you know?
Yeah.
And then you see that it's not actually Zeke, it's the founding Titan, like, fucking just copying it. I think they call them husks or something. Like, they're empty shells or something. You know, they're not. There's no one inside them, but they are able. But Eren is able to use his power to just basically manipulate and copy Titans of all the Titans, basically. Yeah. Which is,
it's got them strung up. Like, it's just I'll use you when I need you. Yeah.
Yeah. Wild, man.
It feels very exploitative, doesn't it? It feels very like it's just this horrendous way of when you consider that these people that are holding these Titans, I think they're called Titan shifters, are they? The, like, Reiner and Annie and Armin, they're all Titan shifters.
I think so.
Is that what they're called? No? You know, the people that can turn into Titans, and basically, the people that hold.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
They're just one of the 9.
Yeah. Yes. But, like, when you realise that we've had an entire show to grasp who our version of the 9 are, and those different iterations of them, and Bertolk becomes Armin and all of this stuff, when you look at how these basically the founding Titan with Eren have essentially just gone like, just fucking resurrect him. Like, that's horrendous in concept. When you think like Bertolt being fucking ripped away from death to essentially just be a puppet in a war for 5 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
awful fucking concept. Well, great concept, awful, horrendous thing.
Yeah. It really is very interesting, and it also like it's not really the point of it, but it's also cool in the sense that it gives you a look at the Titans of the past and how they have changed, because you can see like different versions of the armored Titan and see how the armor has changed and stuff. You see
What haircut has the armored Titan got?
Yeah, what haircut has the armored Titan got? The most fascinating thing to me is the Beast Titan, and how like it can be a different beast. You know, it can be a big monkey like Zeke's is, or it can be a fucking snake, or a crocodile, or an alligator, or like some different like animal thing. I thought that's so fascinating to me. And like all the different versions of the Jaw Titan. First of all, we see like 4 different people inhabit the Jaw Titan in the show itself.
Yeah.
You know? We see fucking, I guess we see Porco, we see Amir, we see Galliard, and then Falco as well.
Yeah.
Wild.
The Jaw Titans in a rotation for for a certain group of people. Yeah, man, it's a crazy fight. It's a crazy battle. I think the stuff that really starts to affect me. Firstly, it's incredibly well executed to where it doesn't feel like a button mashy video game sequence after a while, because it is Titans fighting the same Titans on the back of the same Titan for most of the episode.
But it's so interesting though.
Yeah.
Like at no point does it get stale, really.
No, it doesn't.
At no point are you like, this is drag, which is wild considering it goes on for more than an hour and a half.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
At no point is it like, oh, this is cracking on a bit. What a fucking moment when like Annie and Mikasa are like chasing down this Titan who has who has Armin in its mouth, and like it just suddenly changes direction, and then Mikasa goes, "Annie, throw me," and then Annie just fucking lobs Mikasa right across fucking Eren's spine, just towards the fucking thingy Titan. It's I don't know, man, it's so cool. It's fucking amazing.
There's a few highlights. One of my personal favorite is just Reiner getting absolutely beat down and then just gets up, and people are like, you will not do well if you charge, and he's like, I'm done with this, and just fucking charges in. And when people come close to him, he does this move that Reiner's done a few times, where he just holds out one of his arms and just completely twats someone he's running past with his just outstretched arm, which I really like, because like you've got a building as an arm, just use 100%. It,
yeah.
You get the agility of him as well. Like someone comes near him and he just fucking kicks him. Just like, fuck off. Yeah. Which I like.
It's great when fucking, it's more towards the end of it, but when Reiner's got like all the fucking arrows in him and like half of his face is missing and stuff. Yeah. It looks great. Like visually, it just looks so great and interesting.
I would love to rewatch this entire show and make a count on like a spreadsheet of the amount of times Reiner's armored Titan has been running around killing people and then needs to take a quick knee for 5 minutes. Like, it happens so often. Reiner just goes, hang on, one sec.
It'd be quite a lot.
But anyway, all culminates with fucking Armin just nuking, essentially.
Armin nuking. Well, yeah, they kill Zeke, which stops the rumbling as it is. Yeah. But then, I guess one thing we haven't talked about is there's this big worm thing or whatever. This big fucking bacterial worm thing, which is like the source of all life, which Amir first touched and all that. Oh, Amir backstory. We'll get into that later. Right? It's fucking, well, whatever.
It's just a big evil worm.
It's a big evil worm or whatever. Anyway, like fucking, it's wild, man. Basically, I don't know. Armin nukes the fucking thing, and then Eren like still isn't dead, and then he becomes like a different colossal Titan. Armin and Eren going toe to toe and having a bit of a scrap was quite good.
Oh, I was like, fucking kill him, Armin, kill him,
yeah.
The rematch,
kill him, yeah. It was great.
There's that gas that turns all the
What a horrifying moment that is, and especially so cruel as well, because that's just after Reiner is not when Reiner is reunited with his mom, but like Gabby's reunited with her parents and Annie is reunited with her dad.
Yeah.
And all these fucking great reunions happen and stuff, and then they're like, hey, what if we turned you all into Titans right now?
And then, like, Reiner's fighting and just sees his mum as a Titan, like, out the corner of his eye, and he's like, I will kill that motherfucker if it is the last thing I goddamn do.
100%.
Yeah, and they roll it back a little bit, obviously.
They do, but as I think they should. I think that would have been too cruel of an ending, really. But yeah, the Jean and Connie moment, just embracing as it comes up, which we mentioned a little bit earlier, but yeah.
They get their time with the dead as well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they see Sasha, which is a beautiful moment. Yeah.
So that's it's one of them things where you just go like, I'm glad they rolled it back because it would start to feel a bit torture porn-esque otherwise, because Eren just has the upper hand on every conceivable front.
And the way they rolled it back makes sense as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm fine with it. So yeah, they kill Eren. So Mikasa is able to get into his mouth. She decapitates him. It's very quick, isn't it? There's no like. It's not like a fucking like I'll always love you, Eren, and then fucking slowly. It's just like as soon as she sees him, it's in slow motion and stuff. But that blade is just wasting no time. Yeah, you know.
But
she gives him a little kiss.
Little decapitated head kiss.
Yeah,
I will admit when it pulled out, and I went a little bit like, okay.
First time I saw it, I was like, that feels unnecessary.
Yeah, I'll be having a strong shower after that. I'll be honest. If not aciding my lips or something.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, maybe this isn't necessarily valid to say because of the scenes that follow, but I was quite relieved that we get Mikasa. She feels she can do it in her mind, so she just goes and fucking does it. And that's been a whole conflict, and it's also a proving wrong of the like, fuck you, I have free will, bitch. Don't tell me I don't, from earlier. Which I adore, and I think it's great, and I appreciate that she doesn't lose her humanity in doing that. It's a mercy killing at that point. And I was really quite relieved that we didn't get everyone on the cliff being like, Eren, won't you please stop? And he was like, I can't, I've gone too far. I don't want to hear from you at this point. I just want you dead. So, I don't know. Then the next 10 minutes happened, which I was a little bit like, this is tough at some points.
It's kind of interesting that, there's no, like, right until the end, there's no...
Eren's absent from these two specials. He's really not in it other than as a Titan.
Yeah, he really isn't. He's not... What's the best way to put this? I don't know. I'm struggling with it because I want to say there's no redemption for Eren. But there is, but there isn't really.
There's context.
I think it's complicated. There's context. Like, at no point is he like I shouldn't have done this or anything like that. Like, he's determined and he's like fully in it and stuff. But there's more to it, and there's like fucking. I don't know, man. It's complex. That like last 10 minutes is very complex.
It's very complex. To I would say a fault almost. It's not something I necessarily have a problem with, but that you're in a very quick amount of time. You're given a lot of excuses and reasonings and rationales for why Eren did what he did, and most of them serve to just make you hate him more. So it's a little bit tricky. But yeah,
I don't think you're supposed to walk away from the show liking Eren.
No, you're absolutely, because he's. I think he sums up the entire. Well, we spoke about this earlier, but he sums up the entirety of the mindset of someone yearning for war, someone that yearns for complete dominance and complete control, and takes ideologies to the brink of fucking extreme. Well, it's that we've watched this kid go from a radicalized youth to essentially a fucking all-out terrorist by the end of it. And the show is obviously making the case for like, hey, this sucks. Isn't it bad when people do this? And like fall victim to these pipelines designed to manufacture hatred in people? Like, you're absolutely not meant to walk away from it liking Eren as a character, but it's kind of a strange ask because you're supposed to understand where Armin and Mikasa come from as well.
And I think you can. I do anyway.
I do to an extent. I definitely need to watch it twice, I think.
Yeah.
Where are you at with it? Because I'd love to hear someone from the perspective of someone that's seen it multiple times.
I understand like where Eren, where Armin and Mikasa especially, because Mikasa like fully loves this guy and like arguably to a fault, really.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the point of it, and it links back to like Amiya and her fucking backstory and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get like why
Eren would do a genocide. You see that?
No. No. I get why Armin is like. Oh, well, Armin doesn't really forgive him though. This is the thing. It's so complex because it goes back and forth.
Yes,
He's like, he does kind of hate him, and they have that fucking fight in the little afterworld thing, or not even. It's not even an afterworld. It's actually before all of that, technically.
Yeah. But it does feel like this kind of greater plane, doesn't it? This kind of, yeah.
But it's not. It's like it's from a moment earlier we saw, which was like a fun little reveal, an interesting reveal.
Yeah.
But it's
they pulled the OG Attack on Titan thing on us, where they went, that scene earlier, you have now more context for it.
They did, yeah.
They hit us with the OG Attack on Titan technique.
Yeah. But I don't know, because I still seeing it now. This, to be honest, this is only the second time I've watched this specific special.
Okay,
really, yeah. But I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's complex, and again, because of the way that Armin, like, he does go back and forth with it, and he's like, "Fuck you, Eren," and then he'll fight him and stuff, and then he's like, "Well, I guess we're both gonna suffer in hell together," because Armin's not innocent in all this as well, you know.
No, yeah.
Armin has blood on his hands. Kind of was backed into a corner for some of it, and he didn't have much of a choice, but he has killed a lot of people as well, and he has partook in the genocide himself as well.
Yeah.
So I can understand why he's like, you know, yeah, I'll see you in hell, and then we'll suffer for eternity together and stuff. Really.
See, this is kind of that's a little bit where I struggled with it. Because I know the show isn't telling me that they're on equal footing. I know that the show is not.
They're not
crazy enough to insinuate that. I think history will look more fondly on Armin than Eren. But like,
I think at the end of the day, they're friends. Okay.
Yes.
They're childhood friends. Okay. And I think that's the point of them during that sequence, showing you them as young kids and going throughout their life together as well, seeing them
very interesting when they switch back and forth between that. Yeah.
And also very interesting to see like fucking 6-year-old Eren and Armin being like, "You're a fucking idiot because you punched me," and stuff, which was quite funny. They're
both doing their high-pitched voice, the slightly pitched up voice.
Yeah, I think all of that is very intentional to remind you of that relationship and remind you that they have been friends their entire life, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that, like, yeah, they've both done horrible things, and like, maybe Armin should let go, and he does let go at times, and he does fucking beat the fuck out of Eren and call him a prick and all that kind of stuff. But then he's like, "Oh, but you are my friend, and you are pretty cool, and we did have a lot of good times together." So I think it is just showing you the complexity of the complexities of it all, and the complex struggle that Armin deals with. Because throughout the whole season as well, Armin's like, "Oh, come on, Eren's not that bad, you know." He's like, he's fucking. Do you really think Eren's doing this? And it's almost like he's trying to convince himself at some points, really. And Mikasa is much the same. Mikasa, I'd say her whole arc this season is about like letting go of Eren and trying to, you know, there's so much around Mikasa, which is very much like, you don't actually still like him, do you? Like, are you really prepared to kill him and all this kind of stuff if it does come to it? It's all very like, and in the end she does for the greater good and stuff. So yeah, I don't think the show is ever like, hey, you both love him and it's all great and you will forgive him for everything he's ever done and you will live happily together in the afterlife or whatever. But it's also not like you both hate him and fuck him and forget about everything he ever did and all that kind of stuff. It's not black and white. It's complex. It's multi-layered. There's so many different facets to consider and that kind of stuff. And that's what it comes down to, I think.
I think the most interesting notion of it is that we get maybe like 3 different kind of... Like the first one, he kind of says like, this genocide was all about being in service of ensuring the reputation of Paradis and showing that you will band together. This misfit group of fucking outcasts will band together against all bigotry and hatred to defend those people, your captors and enslavers, against one of your own who goes rogue, essentially. Yeah. That kind of... When I thought the show was presenting that first as the thing, I was like, Eren Yeager might be my least favorite character of all time. Like, that was like genuinely what went through my head. But then like it comes back to Eren saying like, reckoning with that and being like, no, I actually don't know why, but I had to do this. And like that kind of muddies the waters a little bit. And the thing that I appreciate from that is that Armin and Mikasa have both been radicalized because of the same experience, the exact same experiences that radicalized Eren radicalized those two, but they took different paths with it because they're different people. And the show reconciles with, they have a shared pain, but their experiences and the way they deal with those two things do not correlate. And that's just how becoming an adult works. You grow up and you have different views.
See, I think that when Eren is given like different rationales and reasons and stuff, I think they're all true, really. I think to a point, I think all of them do play a part in it. I think it will, in some way, in his head, initially, he would have tried to reason it as, I'm doing this for them, to protect them, so that, you know, once this is all over, they'll be hailed up as heroes, the people who saved the world from this wicked Eldian devil and that kind of stuff, you know? But I think that's probably part of something that he's told himself because he has no other choice. Because again, he doesn't have much choice in this. The path was already laid out in front of him, right? And he's just walking down it. It was always laid out in front of him, and he's just walking along as it is laid out in front of him. He can't really deviate from it. He tries. He even says he tried so many times to deviate from it, and it never worked. Each and every time he did it, it just ended up the exact same way. And I think we even see that at the beginning of the first special, when again we start off with that kid in Mali, and he's getting beat up in the alley or whatever, and he's like, I'm just gonna walk away because what is the fucking point? I've seen myself save this kid, but what is the point? I'm just gonna kill him in a few years anyway. Yeah. But then he does save him again. You see him save him and stuff, and it's again he can't deviate from it. So I think that's something that he's tried to rationalize with. And I also think when he's like telling Armin that like the truth is like I don't even know, I just fucking wanted to do it and all that kind of stuff, I think that's again just more of him trying to appear as the monster for some of it, really. More of him trying to stoke that doubt and hatred in them, really. Easier
to be hated and left alone than it is to reconcile with something you actually feel guilt and have a conscience over. Look, ultimately, I fucking love where the show ends up. I fucking love what they did with Eren. I think it's an utterly fascinating way to take the show, and an incredibly bold and insightful way of deconstructing your themes to show us that like this show has always been about some level of fighting the good fight against insurmountable odds, and it turns out that the person fighting that fight became the insurmountable odds, and and how dangerous that can become, how dangerous a relentless mindset and thinking you're right about everything, how terrifying that can be to find out that you're actually wrong about some things. But no, it's
I think it's always from the beginning. You were right earlier when you said like this show has been a journey of Eren's radicalization, really,
Yeah.
and like we started to really see the seeds of that radicalization come in at the end of season 3 once like he found out the truth and stuff, and then season 4 definitely explores on that theme again with Marley and the Marleyan kids and Gabby and all that kind of stuff. Because again, Gabby is Eren. She was fucking radicalized from a young age as well. She was so fucking hell-bent on killing all the island devils and, earning her glory for Marley and that kind of stuff and becoming an honorary Marleyan. It's all, I don't know, it's all tied together and it's all like, hey, don't be radical.
don't do genocides. They're bad, actually.
Do genocides.
Yeah.
They're bad.
That's me on it. Have you got anything else to say?
Yes. I can go for another hour.
I mean, please don't.
So the like ending though, like the fucking the like 3 years after that, and then we see like fucking just very briefly, but we see what has become of Eldia in all of this. We find out that Eren managed to kill 80% of all humanity, which is fucking insane.
Absolutely.
80%.
Yeah.
80% of all life on Earth just fucking obliterated.
If that statistic doesn't sound shocking enough, the one that made my jaw fucking hit the floor was 4 out of 5 people are dead.
Yeah, which is 80%.
Yeah, I know, but just hearing
but
it...
you're bad at maths.
Yeah, no, but like hearing it laid out like that and like thinking like how many characters are there in the show? Oh my god, that checks out a little bit. Like it's a horrendous fucking way of thinking. But
horrible. Yeah.
And
seeing it's interesting again in the kind of refusal to learn lessons and seeing what happens of Eldia and seeing them like hard lean into this kind of right-wing fucking war-led nation with the Jaegerists in charge and like a little bit of hope on the horizon because they're coming for peace talks and that kind of stuff, so it's interesting to see how that will plan out, but yeah, very interesting how that all ends, I think.
Very, very interesting, and like you say, it's just the not learning lessons thing, and it's the they say like, over 3 years we tried to build our military presence back up again, and I'm like, look, I get it, but like, I don't know, man, the world isn't in a fit shape for war right now. Like, maybe put some fucking resources into building yourselves back up again and becoming a player in society, as opposed to being like, how many guns can we have at any given time?
Those shots of like the military parade and the very Nazi coded soldiers, and then you see the shots of Sasha's family and Niccolo walking in the background, like, and the look of disdain and disgust on their faces and stuff as they pass it by. It's very interesting. But yeah, so Mikasa buries Eren's head, I guess.
There's not much else of him, to be fair.
Just by the tree where like the show started, actually. But the tree like he slept against as a kid.
I find it funny. She was like, "I'll take it because no one else will give it a proper burial," and I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'd have drop booted that off the cliff." Like,
yeah, that's fair.
Just throw it at a wall.
Yeah, but she buries him there, which is like quite sweet and stuff. It's like a nice little moment. But then as the credits play, there's like this kind of montage, which is it's chilling. It's quite haunting, really, because you're like, oh, that's quite a sweet ending, really. There's hope on the horizon. Maybe they will learn the lessons and stuff, and maybe there is hope for this world after all. Turns out, no, not really.
No,
because the end credits, it just really fucking seals the message that humanity is doomed. Okay, humanity were the monsters all along. Even with no titans in the world, there are still monsters, and they are human, and they were always the monsters. Because without them, they still carry on the cycle of war, the cycle of violence. It just never ends, really, which was quite I don't know, it leaves you with something. It finishes and you're like, fuck, that's kind of depressing, really.
Yeah, it's something that the show, obviously the show's been beating you over the head with it. And in lieu of any, I think what these end credits does so well is show us those 3 years, but then remove us from any context that we know about. Show us the same tree, but we know now that by this point, Levi's dead, Armin's dead, Mikasa's dead, obviously.
You actually see Mikasa die. Well, not her die, but you see her get buried there as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, it's something very, very interesting to watch as the show removes that context from us and then just watches all the hard work of these characters, blood, sweat, and tears, their entire life, right, devoted to the cause of essentially trying to fight injustice, and just watch that get rolled over within a few fucking 100 years or whatever. And it's just oh man, this really, if this scenario can't create meaningful change, if decimating 80% of the entire fucking population of humankind is not enough to make you rethink some ways of conduct and how you should conduct yourself in war and peace talks and everything else, it's really makes you think, what will it be? What will it take? You won't be satisfied until it's 100% and there's no one left to fucking fight. Yeah, I don't know. Chilling is the word. It's very it just leaves you with an icy cold fucking feeling in your gut, and you go, "Oh, that's true and horrific and a horrible thing I didn't really want to grapple with tonight." To be honest, but yeah,
and it's so because it's true. That is the horrible thing about it. It's so fucking bang on. It's so. There's some weird nature in us as humans to constantly fight with each other, to constantly see someone who is different and go, fuck you, why are you different?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And if you're not an idiot, that's not how you are and stuff. But trouble is, most of us are fucking idiots.
Yeah, there's a large population of people that are idiots and ruin it for everyone else.
Exactly, and those idiots, unfortunately, are always going to be there. All right,
yeah, and they're typically the loudest people in the room as well.
Yeah, exactly, and no matter how much we progress and stuff, eventually it will all come back to this, which is so depressing. It is. It's such a shame.
It's bold and it's daring for a show in its closing moments, a time which is typically a celebratory moment for an audience member to. How many times have you seen the final credits roll on the final season of a show and you go, God damn, some good TV right there. God damn, great movie, really liked it. This is something very different where they roll the credits and they go whole TV show, fucking pointless, you're cooked anyway, you're done.
Yeah.
This was all a futile effort in vain of something greater.
Especially because the show actually does end on a glimmer of hope. It actually does end. The point where the show fades to black and then the credits start to play, that is a glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
It's just that during the credits, they're like, nope, fuck you.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. They go, here's some hope, and then over the next 100 years, or no, more than 100 years, but the next...
way more than 100 years. Thousands of years, I get the sense.
But it just... Well, I think you see it up until... You see, skyscrapers get built up, you see them fall down, you see them get built up again.
You see, big futuristic cities and stuff.
Yeah. And it's just that look at the people often say the perseverance and the unrelenting nature of the human spirit can defy all odds, and that's typically a feel good story that emboldens you with this hope and this power that one small person can make meaningful and lastful change. And this show goes, well, 10 people that had that kind of emboldened spirit made fuck all difference.
Yeah.
And you go, oh yeah, that is, now we're back in the real world, aren't we? Which is crazy.
And then what is interesting is at the very end, there's the little boy and his dog, and they're just walking through this devastated world because it's been nuked to shit or whatever, and it's all overgrown and apocalyptic and everything like that. And they're just walking through it, and then they come across the tree, and it's I don't know, to me. And again, it's very much open to interpretation. It's not finalized at all, but to me, it was kind of it was very reminiscent of, we didn't really discuss this, and I probably will talk about it a little bit in Little Things, but the Amiya backstory episode, it was very reminiscent of the tree and the cave that she went into, and it was kind of it's going to happen all over again.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
That's kind of the sense that it left me with, really.
No, I've got nothing to add to it because I felt the exact same.
Yeah.
It's like the open. It's bookended. The open and closing of the book.
Yeah.
And obviously we don't see that in season 1, but this story started many, many, many years ago. And
2,000 years.
yeah, and now, well, it's like you said, the first episode was called
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the impression I got. It's very much like we revert ourselves, years and years past, but we revert ourselves back to the way that fucking was intended for us, which is living in the dirt and building up from nothing. And how many times do we have to build up and tear it down before we realize we might have something good, and it maybe is better to not fucking kick it down out of spite.
Very depressing.
Very sad. Anyway, fun little things.
Fun little things. Did really enjoy the Ymir backstory episode. The kind of like the origin of the Titans and that kind of stuff. And then there's that moment where I can't remember whoever's narrating it, but then like, oh, my daughters, Maria, Rose, and Cena, and I'm like, that's me pointing to the wall. That's the name of the wall.
Yeah, I did that too. I went, oh.
Yeah.
That was fun. I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
Sad episode, eye-opening episode.
Horrible. Yeah, really horrible.
I will reward you with my seed.
Ugh.
No thanks, brother. Yeah. You keep your seed
Horrible
where you
line.
fucking want, just not here, all right?
Yeah. Brutal.
I've got a little thing. I
bet you do.
We've kind of already spoke about this, but I'll just reiterate it again. Eren just going hard on Mikasa and just fucking being like, you won't kill me, you don't even fucking know how to do anything I don't tell you to do. And then just like, yeah, top tier cunt. But you suck big time.
Spoiler alert, she does kill him, so fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you big fucking spindly little weird freak.
L
on you. That's my little things. You got any more?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. The first theme,
Yes.
so infinitely better than the final theme.
Well, that's just because you don't like metal music.
It's absolutely that. Yeah, it's aggressively fucking like hard metal. And I'm just like, I could go for something that isn't this. But there's something about this, mate. There's some magic fucking sauce in that the season 4 part 1. It really is a head bopper, if I'm honest.
There's a remix of the song's called My War. There's a remix of it, like with like a popular song. I think it's by Dua Lipa.
No way.
No, not as in Dua Lipa as a remix of Attack on Titan.
I know that.
Like,
I know.
Someone has remixed that song with a Dua Lipa song.
I got new rules I counted. Sargeo.
Is it Levitating?
That is a song that she has.
You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading.
I love it. Oh my
I'll
goodness.
send you the link to that. I'll send you the
Please do. I'll be bumping that in the shower tomorrow. Having a little dance.
Yeah, that's good.
That is fantastic. All right, should we do some...
But you don't like rumbling.
is Rumbling the second one?
Rumbling.
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 It's not that I don't like it. I think it fits within what the show is going for, which is very much like, look,
Yeah.
it's genocide time.
I love it. I think it's great. You don't like that kind of music.
No,
do you?
that's not for me at all, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great.
I said that-
I was bumping Enter Shikari the other day before we recorded a podcast. You were just like, don't know about this.
I respect it. Look, this is the thing. People always say like about music they don't like. Oh, it's not fucking good music or whatever. Like, no, it's fucking. Do you know how hard it is to sing like that and to scream out like that without a fucking like deeply fucking capable vocal presence?
Yeah.
It's just not for me. I cannot fathom how people listen to it and go, "This sounds great." I'm like, "This sounds awful to me. It sounds like someone
It does
being
sound
tortured
great.
for me."
No, it sounds great. I love it. It's great.
I can recognize the artistry within, but it is absolutely not for me.
Little bitch.
Yeah, much prefer Dua Lipa myself. I say that with a grain of sarcasm. It's absolutely true. I think Dua Lipa slaps.
Maybe. I don't know.
Future nostalgia, Nathan. Check it out. Best album.
Greatest show of all time, maybe.
It truly is up there. I need to sit on it for a minute.
Yeah.
I need to see how that ending kind of registers with me after a couple of days of thinking about it. But it I would say it easily cracks top 5. Yeah.
You glad I forced you to watch it again?
Yeah. Look, I'll be honest. There's a thought that we'll read out in a sec, but the kind of reconciles with this point. This is not the show I thought it was, if I'm honest with you.
No. I was so when I was last week, I was so tempted to say to you, like at one point I was gonna say season 4 of Attack on Titan is just like that line from Luke in The Last Jedi, where he's like, "This is not going to go the way that you think." Okay, and then that really is just the show to a T.
Yeah,
I think.
It's very subversive. It's and in the best possible way, and also, might I say, an absolute delight to be watching a show that is not really in any kind of public space that I'm in. Like it's not really in a discourse that is appearing on any of my various algorithms. So to experience this kind of week in, week out, completely fresh with zero spoilers and a story I have no knowledge of. What a joy to just experience it in the way it was meant to be. I had no idea what was coming. A few narrow misses by Googling words like Amir, which I shouldn't have been doing.
What a fucking bullet dodge. When you said that, I was like, Lawrence, no!
I didn't realize this, right? Because I've been after we've recorded the episodes and stuff, I've been like listening to people's reviews and stuff and being like, I just want to hear a bit. You know when you just put something on to like fucking veg out to or whatever. I had the washing up on. I was like, what does this guy think of Attack on Titan season 2 or whatever? Given that we spoke about it the night before. I woke up the other day. I'd fallen asleep with YouTube on, and it just had played my auto-played stuff and stuff that I'd queued up. And I'm not joking. I woke up and I saw that I was halfway through an Attack on Titan season 4 review, and so quickly I was like, "Get it off!
God, no.
So that was playing with fire a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, is it time for another happy thought?
Yeah, sure.
It very much sounded like it wasn't, but I'm going to say it was. All right, so what we do is we let the audience have their say. If you're new, you can write us in on Discord. The link to join that is in the show notes. And we just, it's not, we're a bit loose with it here on Another Happy Pod, but we'll take in some thoughts from people on the server, and we'll read them out here. So that's fun.
Yes.
Anyway, Chaos Carney says 3 things. Last week's Lawrence. 3 things. Lawrence, last week's Another Happy Thought was horrendous. Did you hear what I ended up doing for this?
I did, yeah. We forgot to do it in the actual episode, so I had to message Lawrence afterwards and be like, "Oh fuck, we forgot this. Just do something in the edit."
I thought it was quite well done, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, it was. I did like how you kept asking me what I thought about it. It's quite good.
First, sorry, this is still Chaos Carney. The first opening of this season slaps, and the season redefines the messages of the show in a way that hit me heavily, going from a hype punchy punch fest to a deep psychological and brutal critique on wars and radicalization was something I wouldn't have thought to watch at 14. I could not agree with this more, if I'm honest. This is kind of what I said a second ago. This is not the show I thought I was getting, and I'm so fucking thankful that I didn't know a thing about where this was heading.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it really does make you just go, oh, okay.
It really is just a fucking bomb dropping on you. I'm gonna say it like last week, but 55 episodes they spent leading up to what's in the basement. All right,
yeah,
and then in a world where big monster titans, we're gonna fight them, and we're humanity, and we'll always survive and prosper, and we gotta fight these big titans and monsters because that's what being human is and stuff. And then the fucking bomb that is dropped on you when you get to the basement, and they're like, what if it was all about Holocaust and genocide? Actually, and the show just goes, just fucking completely changes direction at that point.
To pull off something like that was such an incredible fucking mid-season 3 kind of, or late season 3 kind of switch up. If this was a bullshit thing, if this was like a genuinely lesser quality bullshit thing, it would be like it would have been like, what's in that what's in that basement or whatever, and you go there, you unlock it, and it's like it's Aaron's dad's findings, and then like Aaron's dad has been down there working the whole time, and he's like, time to get these titans, son, and it's like, who gives a fuck about any of this shit?
Oh no, Aaron's dad has been down there, and Aaron's dad is like the king of the Titans or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm a big Titan now, actually.
No,
son.
I have to
And then
kill my
Aaron
dad. He's a Titan king.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lesser show would have done that.
Yeah.
Or a lesser manga, I guess.
And
But,
that's the thing
I'd
about
say-
this. It feels like at any point it could veer off into this is a bullshit thing.
Yeah.
But it never does.
Yeah.
It always surprises you.
I think I'm going to get the manga. I think I'm going to read them. I've never read a manga in my life, but yeah, I think I might have to get them and have a read.
See, I can't read,
see
so
what
I
they're
wouldn't
like.
be able to.
You can't read. Read. You like picture books.
I do. I like it when I have my crayons and I colour them in as well.
They are in black and white, so they
Oh,
are worth it.
perfect. Do they have numbers on them that coincide with the colours I should be
Sure.
drawing?
The thing about manga, which always like has put me off it, but it's backwards, in the sense that like you know how a book, you read a book from like you open it at the beginning, it's the other way. A manga is the
Oh,
other
of
way.
course it is. Yeah.
Yeah, which has always like weirded me out. I'm like, but I'm reading it backwards. I don't understand.
How does this work?
Yeah.
What kind of science is this?
What's
in the
psychopath
basement?
design
It's a
this?
book that opens backwards, Aaron.
No,
And it's got, if you read it backwards, it's got the secret for the Titans or something.
Lawrence, let's do this quiz.
Oh, no, I really don't want to do a quiz.
No, I've got it open. It's only 9 questions. We can do it quite quickly.
All right.
Go on, open it up on your browser. We'll both do it together.
All right, so I'm doing your answers, you're doing mine, yeah?
Well, I guess, but I've put my name in.
Okay. No, fuck it. We'll do our own.
All right. Okay. No, actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's just do that. All right. Let's do each other's.
Okay.
All right. So, question 1. Yay, it's due weekend. How are you going to spend it? Number 1, practicing fighting. Number 2, spending time with my favorite person. 3, having fun with my friends. Spelt weirdly. 4, reading. 5, brooding, listening to music, drawing, anything I can do by myself. I wonder who that one's for.
Yeah, I think there's a few of these that are probably going to be like, oh, that's.
Oh, this is like one of those, like, which Hogwarts house are you quiz?
Yeah.
Are you come across, I don't know, this? Are you A, being a lion?
Yeah.
B, being an evil, horrible snake?
Yeah.
C, eating food in the kitchen?
It's going to get to like, how would you like to spend your weekend? I don't know, looking at the ocean or genociding? Oh, I wonder. I'm going to pick spending time with my favourite person.
Which is me.
Yeah. What are you going for?
I'm going to go with brooding, listening to music, drawing, anything I can do by myself.
Why don't you go for reading? Because then you could do your manga.
No, I'm not.
You could go right to left.
Pick brooding for me.
All right, fine.
right?
I've picked brooding for you.
And I've picked spending time with my favourite person, aka me. What's the next question, Lawrence?
Your crush said something positive about you. How do you react? And the options are, yes, I knew they liked me, or blushes. Really? And then
Good luck pronouncing this one.
yeah. Oh, dash 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 dash. Oh, I don't know what the fuck this. It's
I
some
think that's supposed to be like a shocked face.
fucking weebs, man. This is why anime has a reputation. No one who the fuck talks like this. I'm just discounting. I don't even know what that means. That doesn't mean they love me, and we should start out as friends. So
I'm going with yes. I knew they liked me.
I'm probably gonna go for that one too. Yeah, seems a bit.
brutal. Two brave boys right here.
Sounds a bit up our own arse, but the rest of the options are kind of like they suck or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Question 3. Art class. What did you draw? Violence. My crush. A cute puppy. I didn't draw. Me conquering my enemy.
I wonder. Oh, who could that one be?
Lawrence. I drew myself conquering my enemies.
I'm gonna draw a cute puppy
Okay.
because I actually do
wait, I
like to
pick
draw
it for
my
you,
dog
aren't
on
I?
cards.
Okay.
Wait.
Well, make sure you pick conquering my enemies for me.
Yes.
And a cute puppy for you.
There we go.
Okay. There we go.
Question 4 of 9. Reading break. What's the genre of your story? And the options are horror, romance, drama, non-fiction / informative, or I prefer to write in my diary like a nerd.
Horror.
So you're going for horror. What's the
Yes.
genre of your story? I'm going to dab my hand in a drama, if you will.
A drama.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Last day of school. What are you doing? Celebrating. Nothing. Saying goodbye to everyone. I don't really care. Being at my last day of school. What
Oh,
else?
fuck off with that. That's what last day of school. What are you doing? Being at my last day of school. What else would I be doing? Fuck, shut up.
Fuck off. Yeah.
Everyone knows a prick like that.
What, Lawrence? Answer the fucking question.
Last day of school. Yeah, I'm celebrating. Why not?
All right, you're celebrating. I don't really care.
Oh, you are so cool.
I'm so edgy, man.
Yeah, you
so
can tell.
We all have a soft side. What's yours about? I'm not that strong. I'm overprotective. I cry a lot. I'm boring. Does that count? I don't have friends. Lawrence, put me down for I cry a lot.
Hey, absolutely. We also said, what's yours about? I'm boring, I guess. I think
You are pretty
I can bore
boring,
a lot of
yeah.
people. Yeah.
Speaking of which, earlier this week I asked you what your plans are for this week.
Oh no! Now.
And you told me, don't worry, I'm going to bring this up on the other podcast for that crap.
Oh no!
But you told me your big plans this weekend are going to the opening of a local co-op.
Look, it's a big thing. They're bringing out a van with crumpets and stuff, right? It's a big old fucking time, right? It's an event, and it's a local shop. Oh, and I've lived without a local shop for a good number of years.
My God, how much your life has changed.
Right, question 7 of 9. Let's go to the.
Wait, what was yours? I'm boring. Does that count? That was yours.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let's go to the carnival. Which ride are you going on? The options are roller coaster, Ferris wheel. I hope I get stuck in a cart with my crush. That's sexy. Merry-go-round. None. Carnival game, I guess.
I'm gonna go for Ferris wheel. I hope I get stuck with my crush.
Oh yeah.
So I can hit them with my Riz.
Oh wow, the trademark
Yes.
Nathan Riz. I'm gonna go with carnival game, I guess, because I don't like rides,
You don't like any kind of ride. You're a big fraidy cat.
and that feels like me.
right.
Carnival game, I guess. If I'm here, I'll do a carnival, I guess.
Yeah, I've put carnival game down for you.
Nice.
Question 8 and 9. This question seems pointless, but I know what I'm doing. What's your favorite color? Don't lie. Mine is not really here, but I like green, so I'll go with green.
Okay. What? The dark green.
Yeah,
I will go for baby blue.
baby blue for a baby boy.
That's me.
What's your favorite kind of music, Lawrence?
Well, as established, it's not metal.
Yes.
So the options are rock, metal, kids, classical, or pop. I guess. I don't like the attitude with pop. I guess.
Yeah,
Like if I had to
I think that's
listen.
supposed to be Aaron, like
Yeah.
dead inside.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
like the rest
Pop,
of them
I
aren't
guess.
like. I guess if I had
Well,
to
yeah,
say.
because that's the point. Because like Mikasa's the other one, you know.
I guess, yeah. I guess. But pop, I guess.
I'll go for rock.
Whoa,
Lawrence.
okay, all right.
Rock and or roll. All right, time to see who you are.
All right.
Who goes first?
I wouldn't laugh too hard. Go on. I'm ready to brave it.
All right, your result. I think you'll like this. Armin Ehrlet.
Okay, I can get amongst
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
You may be weak in brawn, but not in brain. All right. Your friends think you are very smart and very kind. Anyone who doesn't know that you well might think you're kind also. But those people who look on the negative side of everything and everything would say, you're a crybaby. You may be a little sensitive, but that's what makes you sensitive to others. Thanks for taking my quiz. Smiley face, Ash.
Oh, but the end of my one's got my quiz as well.
Yeah, that's what mine says.
My quiz. So you are the genocidal maniac, Eren Yeager.
Yes! This is what I want.
You are bold and determined to achieve your goals, and sometimes it can stop you from just having a relaxing day with your friends.
Yeah.
Most people who don't exactly know you, like the other kids at school that aren't your friends, what's that mean? Think you're mostly serious and strong, while your friends know that's not quite you. You're actually just trying to achieve your goals in life whilst having fun along the way. There's not a paragraph here, but I think there's something about and slaughtering 80% of the population of humanity as well.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking my quiz, Ash.
There we go.
Thanks for that.
Perfect.
Thanks, everyone, for that.
Thank you, everyone.
Last thing I'll read out, just because it's the only other thought we got, so it'd be rude not to.
It'd be rude not to.
Yeah. Is Bird's Eye View VT. Not really a thought, just a fun fact. Did you know that the voice for Armin is a VTuber? Her name is Mimcubus. Mimcubus. That's probably not right. Mimcubus. I'm going to go with that. And she also voices the Grand Minister in Dragon Ball Super, a show I have not seen.
I wonder if that's the English voice actor or the Japanese voice actor.
Yeah,
Because that to me would suggest the Japanese voice actor.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe
We've said it a few times. We're doing the dub, not sub.
we've done the dub.
Yeah.
But hey, I don't know anything about VTubers. To be honest, I don't even know what a VTuber is, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't know what about being. So I presume it's something on YouTube, but what makes it a V? Where does the V fit into all of this?
Literally no idea.
Is it the same thing as when, like, you know, when streamers have like a version of themselves where it's like an animated thing? Is that a V?
Maybe.
A VTuber?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Could be. Yeah. I didn't know that, but pretty cool.
Indeed. Nathan,
Pretty cool for them.
we're going to whiz through this because it's recommendation time.
Can we just skip it this week? Because I'll be honest, I don't have anything.
Yeah,
and this episode is already 2.5 hours long.
I'll give you mine very quickly. It's wicked. It's a fun movie. Go and watch it.
All right, do you want to save that for next week?
Yeah.
Alright,
no,
cool.
actually, because I'm catching up on a bunch of movies this week.
All right, great. Well, everyone go see Wicked, I guess. You know what? That's my recommendation too, even though I haven't seen it.
We whizzed through that wicked recommendation, I would say.
Shut the fuck up, all right?
We Wizard of Oz through that wicked time. Yeah, sorry about the longer episode, but we just had a lot to say on Attack on Titan. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I'd say,
I got
last
too
thing I'll
much to
say,
say.
Attack on Titan, fucking another series in the belt. Done.
Oh, our last one of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Well, kind of. We all like in the sense that, like, kind of Christmas is an ongoing series of Christmas movies.
You're right, yeah.
And I guess the end of year wrap up is also a sort of.
Do you remember the crime drama Christmas, the short-lived one-year tradition?
Oh yeah, that was good. We should do that again. We'll do that next year.
Do that next
year. We'll find a new crime drama to sync our teeth next year.
Anyway, thank you very, very much for listening. If you've enjoyed the show, please feel free to leave us a 5-star review. It would be much appreciated. You can follow us.
I'd love it personally.
So would I, as it goes.
I'd give you a big old kiss.
I wouldn't.
After I decapitated you.
Oh no, with your head in his hands. You can follow us on Twitter at Another Happy Pod, where you can suggest a topic for us to check out. I'm just now realising that what we're doing next week is just more citywide devastation and sadness.
I haven't seen it, but looking forward to it.
What do you think comes with a classic Godzilla standard
Yeah,
fare?
I know. I know.
Stop buzzing that. I'm going to have to keep cutting you.
Never.
If you feel so inclined, we have a Ko-Fi link if you want to help us out with the running of both of the shows. Zero pressure to do so. Everyone is always welcome to enjoy the episodes for free and forever. And if you still want to help us out, the most useful thing you can do is share the show with your friends. And speaking of the shows that we do, Nathan, what is the other podcast that we do?
It's called Still Got Leggies.
Whoa.
It's called Still Got Legs. It's our Doctor Who rewatch podcast where every single week we get together, we discuss an episode of Doctor Who. It's our 100th episode next week.
Yeah.
On Monday, 100 of those beautiful boys out there in the world. So yeah, come join us for that. We're talking about a big, exciting episode that everyone loves, so that'll be fun. and yeah, that's it. Basically,
Look, we can't help the way it's shaped out. All right, it's just the order of the show.
On it, all right, yeah, we're pretty powerless to this, but there we are.
Thank you for listening. We will see you next Friday at 10 a.m. Stay groovy, stay beautiful, stay something else.
Doing a big yawn because I'm tired. Bye. You're gay now.